Not many men can withstand my punch.
Obviously.
For sure.
Got a set of hair on him.
Black belts and chicken heads.
I think you'd be surprised.
I think you'd be surprised.
Abbott Kenny Fight Club.
Yep. Somebody went to Disneyland.
Somebody went to Nashville.
I went to Nashville.
Don't let the mic hit you in the mouth.
Sorry. I was this guy who was very nice said, "I'll give you a private tour of the zoo." And I was like, "All right, I'll go watch."
I would have loved that.
I'll go watch the tigers and the lions and everything else.
Like backstage though?
Yeah. So I was like, "I'll go." And I said, "I'll 2:00 Saturday." And then he goes, "Listen, I feel obligated to just tell you that we don't have any lions or tigers or bears, and the monkey exhibit is closed, and we're under reconstruction." I was like, let me explain something to you, bro. Yeah, I'm not going to the zoo to see llamas and giraffes and shitty hoofed animals that I would eat.
Unless, excuse me, sir, if I don't get her in Nashville soon at Zany's, I think in like 2 months.
And I'm gonna reach out.
Tell you. No, I think we reach out, but I'm down to play with the camels, the zebras. Sure. If you let me get in and squeeze a camel's nose or play with a zebra's tail,
well,
I'm game. Like, what exactly is VIP at the zoo?
Well, as a man who's ridden camels. And you're looking at a guy who's ridden camels more than 5 times in his life.
Yeah.
Because remember, I lived in Saudi Arabia.
I know.
Now, hold on. You need to know a couple things about a camel. You need to know a couple things.
Sir, I just got done watching...
They'll spit on you?
Watch yourself. I just got done watching Planet Earth 1 and 2 back to back. I'm balls deep in animals.
We need to talk about that.
We will.
But you need to understand...
They'll spit on you, though. You're right.
They'll spit on you.
Hot spit.
They'll kick you. And they'll pick you up and they'll throw you like a rag doll.
Camels are huge.
Yeah. Hey, have you seen that video of the camel grabbing that guy and throwing him in the air?
We won't be able to show on the show, so let's not bring it up. Right. But I hear you.
Well, so you're not squeezing the camel's nose unless he wants you to.
Well, no.
Unless you want.
Well, no, I'm going to be there with the keeper.
Well,
it's like Avatar, where you got to connect with them.
They're weird too because it's like mules. Mules will only let certain people ride them. Okay.
Ah, fuck a mule.
No, you will not.
I don't want to ride a mule.
Well, people do.
If you go, hey, bro, Fire and the Kid, VIP tour, zoo, and they're like, here, ride the mule, I'll go, sir, you better have something else lined up. I better be able to tangle with that old crocodile over there I see out of the corner of my eye.
Right.
Or I need to slap the shit out of that panda. Yeah. One of the two. Otherwise, I'm leaving. And I'm going bad on you when I get back on the podcast.
You got to go bad on him.
I'm going bad on your Nashville Zoo.
I fed a rhino and
ooh, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, they let me. This not, of course, Nashville, but when I was, of course, I think San Diego Zoo, and I gave that rhino literally a piece, like a tree branch. Okay, now look, I'm talking about a tree branch. Okay,
like
with
you're
leaves.
Struggling with it.
Yeah, with leaves. Ate the wood.
Well, it's a rhino.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, man. I understand eating leaves. Thing ate the wood.
I love a nice rhino.
Chong. Like, oh, that looks like a Twizzler.
Like, if I didn't care about money, material things, life, or anything, I'd be one of those guys that goes and protects the one white rhino.
Yeah.
I'd be that guy that just hangs out with them. You can't get too close. But you know, there's a team that monitor this white rhino because there's like 1 or 2 left.
They stand guard. They guard it
24/7. Yeah. 24/7, like he's J-Lo.
That's right.
Like they literally hang out with
Beyonce.
him all the time. Like you're not touching him.
No.
You might if you even in the vicinity of that thing, they're IDing you.
Well, the couple things.
That's why I come with plums.
A couple things on that. One is that they are extremely rare, but you're dealing with the enemy, and the enemy can be well-financed, like Russian mafia syndicates. Yeah. Those guys, there's a lot of money to be involved. So they shoot you. Now, I happen to know a guy, and you know him too, who's an elite soldier.
I know what you're talking about.
And he...
you went to lunch with him and jacked him off?
No, different guy.
Oh.
And he had volunteered to go there and,
protect the rhino?
Yeah, but, like when poachers show up at night, he'd be just sitting there with his night vision goggles and take the guys out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's legal, yeah.
Well, there are guys out there willing to do that.
Why are you talking like that? You're not breaking news.
No, I'm talking about him setting up shop and 100%.
Just waiting that's what they do for those
rifle.
poachers. Oh, yeah. It's game time.
It's game time.
Cameron Haynes was talking about how they saw poachers and, I mean, it was trouble, man.
Oh,
yeah, it's go time. No, it's the Wild West.
Yeah.
It's all game on.
Yeah. Well, they also shoot them from helicopters.
Yeah, and they have drones now that follow that white rhino. So when thing gets close to it. That white rhino's, I mean, he's like Donald Trump's security, son. Like, good luck getting close to him.
Well,
anyways, I wanted to do that. But back to the zoo thing. I'd be so down for that zoo tour. I'd be so down.
Right.
I don't fuck with big cats. Big cats are off limits. I'm not trying to touch them, feel them. I don't care if they're seduced, whatever. I'm not into that.
Not seduced, but sedated.
Sedated. I'll seduce one, though,
But
with
you'll
my
seduce
eyes.
one. No,
That's
you
what
will.
I'm saying.
No, you will.
No, it's mating season in Nashville. That's what I'm saying, bro.
No, I didn't know
they're
that. Okay.
sedated where they're out. I don't want to play with a dead animal.
You got lion energy, dude. You got lion energy.
tiger.
And when I'm around you, I'll be
Tigre
honest with
energy.
you, I gazelle up. I get all kinds of gazelle.
I'll play with a panda, though.
I start to run
Koala,
around.
Any sloth. You let me see a sloth. If you would just let me hang out with the sloth for the day, that's all I need.
So there was the Radio Lab did a thing on a guy who bought a tag to kill a rhino, but let me finish. And I think he's an oil guy, comes from an oil family. I believe he paid almost $1 million for the tag.
He has to have the
for the right. It was
smallest
like
dick.
$900,000.
Those guys that hunt that big game, I mean, it's just like a pissing contest.
Well, it's very strange, but here's the thing about why they hunted that particular rhino. When rhinos get old and they're no longer sexually active, they beat the shit out of all the other rhinos.
They're gangsters.
They're just
They
like,
become real
I'm old.
vets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they start horning up. They horn everybody up because they can't. Their dick doesn't work. They're like, you fucking young guy. And they hook them
That's
in the
nature,
belly.
man. That's the way nature built
But
them.
they can be destructive when you don't have that many, so you got to take them out. You got to shoot
So that guy
'em.
went and took him out?
He went and shot it, but I guess the money that he paid goes to conserving rhinos.
That's kind of cool, then.
Yeah, but all these animal rights
People
activists
get mad?
were freaking out. But at the end of the day, and it was
They don't
some crazy. It
realize
might have
that
been
it's
like
helping them?
yeah, it might have been like $500,000. He spent some crazy.
Yeah,
amount
it's
of money.
crazy money to go and do that. Speaking of a zoo, I was at Disneyland yesterday.
Yeah.
Me and 16 people.
Is that right?
Brought the squad.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant only 16 people were there. Keep going.
Disneyland?
I wish you had done that longer.
I was about to, but dude, we fucked up because I forgot everyone has today off, President's Day, silly holiday. Anyways, I forgot everyone had today off. It was so crunk. It was so packed.
Yeah.
We set up the for Tiger's birthday is actually Tuesday, but we celebrate on Sunday. So my family flew in. Joe's family's there. Her friends, none of my friends showed up. I didn't invite him though because
Yeah.
it's kid. He's
Tough.
one. Let's
Tough,
get real
man.
here. But we set up Mickey and Friends. It's like a breakfast thing,
Yep,
and
done it.
all the people come out. Like it's like Winnie and freaking Mickey
Yep,
and
yep.
Minnie and
It's a
all the fucking
well-oiled machine.
It really is. And he set up a buffet. They have a buffet and everyone eats and the animals or the characters come over and play with your kid.
Yeah.
He wasn't having it though, not feeling them. He only likes Pluto. It's very strange.
Well,
out of all the
he's
weird
one.
ones. I know, but he loves Pluto. The other ones he could give two shits about.
he
two
doesn't
shits
know.
about. He does not care, man. So we did that. And then in the park, again, he's one. He loves It's a Small World because there's so much going on. So I held him on that. And then he was running around. That's the one good thing. He's walking and run like crazy. So he ran around the park. Then we went on the carousel. He wasn't very crazy about it. And then he passed out for about 3 hours. That's my time at Disneyland.
Well,
And then this guy comes. He goes, dude, you should do the VIP thing. Like it's the way to go. I'm like, all right. I'm talking about it in details. And then he goes, how many people you got with you? I go, about 16. What's the play? Because I'd rather just pay for a big package, do the VIP, so I don't have to wait in line. And he goes, yeah. So it's about $1,200 an hour, and then for every other person, it's another $100.
$1,200 an hour.
And he goes, and then for every other person that you have, it's an extra
Holy
$100
shit,
an
what
hour.
are you, the king of Qatar?
Yeah, and then I was
What the
like,
fuck is going on?
I was like, I'm sorry. Do I look like Zuckerberg? I don't own Facebook,
Like,
bitch. I'm just trying to get my kid in the park.
Right.
Also, he's one.
Yeah, fuck off.
If it was just my girl, me, and then let's say we had 2 kids, that makes sense. Because then you can just go on everything in a day, get it done, you're out. That would make sense. When you got 16 people fully loaded and your kid's one, he's good for 2 rides and it's over.
Well, I brought my son, the first time he was in Disney, I was 3 years old. We put him on a ride that he just wasn't ready for.
What'd you put him on?
It was one of those like, that kind of
Splash Mountain
that
or some
centrifugal force where it kind of starts shaking.
can't do that,
And
man.
my wife is trying to hold on to him, and I looked at his face, and he's like,
Can't
and she's
have
like,
it.
you have to tell him to stop. I'm like, I can't tell him to stop the ride. Well, that traumatized him for the next year.
Oh, so he's not feeling it?
He didn't want to go on any other rides. He
Dude,
was
on
like,
the-
nah, I'm good. I'm
Dude,
fine.
On the carousel, I felt sick. Because, I did my cheat day yesterday on purpose because it's Disney and there's not a healthy option in the entire park.
No,
I
a lot
guess
of
you
sugar.
could load up on those giant weird turkey legs Those things gross me out. The meat's all pink in them.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I saw people going ham on those things in line. But I didn't want those, so I was like, all right, fuck it. Today
lot of sugar and flour.
Today just be my cheat day. I had a corn dog, though. They make it like the batter's like this, I don't know, like a waffle batter with a hot. It was so nice. Went on the carousel after I ate that thing. Down that thing with a nice Diet Coke.
Yeah.
I shit you not.
Yeah.
Bad use of word there. I was going to shit my pants on this carousel.
Yeah, it's a problem.
My son, I was like, you and me both, brother. I thought he was going to start crying, shit his pants. I was like, I'm about to start crying. I'm going to shit my pants. Dude, I tried like just looking. People are like, if you feel sick, just look up. That doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Because the ceiling's spinning too.
Yeah, it doesn't work. I've almost thrown up on that. I was doing one of those dumb seesaw things like, ooh.
I
And
used to love
the
those.
woman who were doing it, she started to get sick. Me and my wife were laughing so fucking hard because she was going, and then she just Ralphed.
Oh.
She
How
Ralphed.
about I was in the urinal and this older, not too old, not like grandpa, but straight dad, Asian dude in the urinal next to me leans over and goes, what's the original Big Dick Bandit doing at Disneyland?
I love that. I love that.
Dicks out. I was all, it's Disneyland, right? So good to see you, man.
Got my kids and it's good to see you.
Disneyland, isn't it?
Yeah.
I
Now,
love
do you
Disneyland,
have
man.
there's no ride I've ever ridden on Disneyland that I think is that exciting.
Ooh, I love them. You are so wrong, sir.
know,
See, I grew up at a
terrible.
Disneyland kid. And fuck Disney World. I love Disneyland. The original. Don't give me that bullshit giant. You ever been to the Epcot Center?
I've been there.
Fuck you. Did they get rid of it?
I don't remember.
Oh my
still
God.
long.
It is so weak. I mean, there's some cool restaurants like the German.
It's like
the Sweden
futuristic
thing.
from the 50s.
Oh my God. For
It's
a
so
kid,
futuristic. It's like it sucks. It's like 1950s future. So it's actually
It's
1950s.
Disney. Epcot Center is like Disney, like a theme park for just old, boring people. Fuck you.
Yeah.
How dare you? Throw
I
that
waited
my
in line
face?
for Space Mountain as a kid, and I remember I waited in line. I'm still waiting in line. We're still in line. That's how long it fucking
So how
took.
about this? So everyone, we planned all this thing, and then whatever. I've been busy, man. I didn't buy my ticket, so I'm like, I'll just get it at the front there. Everyone, you just buy
Sure.
a ticket at the front. Oh, you're looking at I don't know, about an hour and a half wait just to get in line to buy a ticket. It looked like it was the fucking new Tower of Doom ride. Like it was. I'm like, what's this for? Like to get a ticket. I'm like, fuck that noise. I'm gonna outsmart everyone. I'm gonna buy it online. So I buy it online, sends me a link. I'm like, see you suckers. I click it. It's like, please allow 24 hours to get your ticket. I'm like, oh God. I get in line. I'm like, I'm about to buy 2 tickets. So I get in line and I'm like, I bought a ticket, on my phone because I thought I was smarter than everyone and I was going to skip the line. She goes, oh no, honey. Otherwise everyone would do that, right? I'm like, yeah. And then I go, is there any way you can just look at this and give me a ticket? And she goes, we typically don't do that. I go, come on, man.
Typically,
I
we don't.
went, it's Disneyland. How much money do you guys need? Do I really need to buy another ticket? I know it says 24 hours. I clearly bought a ticket. I'm here just for one day. She goes, let me talk to my boss. Her boss comes. I'm like, let me talk to her. So I talked to her, just told her what's going on. I'm like, everyone has a ticket, man. I waited in line. I thought I was a smart guy, but buying online. I know it says 24 hours. Is there any way you can just give me a ticket? You guys clearly have my money. She goes, I guess. And then didn't even give me a ticket, just signed some card.
Oh God.
Oh my God. And then the line to get in the park. By the time we got in the park, I was like, good.
That's the problem with
God.
Disney. That's the problem with Disneyland.
But you know what
should
they're
go
doing?
on a Tuesday at 10.
It doesn't work like that. I'm busy.
I know.
Now everyone can do that. So
know.
that's why you do the VIP thing. But the other thing is, what Disneyland's letting too many people in. So what they're doing now that's going to kind of help it, from what I heard from one of the workers. I was talking logistics with this worker. Is weird. But they're going to get rid of, you know how you can pay a monthly membership to pay off your season pass?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they're not doing that. You just have to pay for it all up front, which ain't cheap. Talking about $1,000 or something like that for a season pass. So instead of allowing people to pay monthly like $12, they're getting
Right.
rid of that plan.
Yeah.
It's so crowded,
Now it's
man.
going to be Disneyland for the elite. Can we shift
Hey,
gears?
not
and
mad at that.
Can you tell me about Planet Earth? Because I need to see it. And
Planet Earth came out forever ago, so you haven't
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
that
yeah.
step
Planet
came
2,
out.
Planet
Planet Earth 2.
Yeah.
So it's on. They do it series.
Yeah.
They do it. So this was the first one. Oh, they were on Madagascar Island, and it's a fun one.
unique animals.
It's a fun one.
Right.
They all crabs there. They got a bunch of crabs on an island, which
Sure.
full of crabs.
Yeah.
Of course, man fucks it up because we come there and somehow these major, they're not soldier ants, but there's some gnarly ass yellow ants.
Right.
Took over the island. Now they fuck up these crabs. They said there's something like 500 or 5 million crabs do this walk once a year where they go into the ocean to mate and then come back. And when they're doing this walk, there's fucking yellow auntie from Satan. They wait for him.
Yellow ants?
Auntie from Satan. And they spit acid in their eyes.
Oh, that's fun to be
in mouth. And they die.
What a fucking terrible way to die. What? I wish I could spit acid in somebody's eyes and mouth.
And then they just take over and eat them. And, and just
You'd win every UFC fight.
Every fight.
And in this corner, the acid spitter.
Every fight.
And done. Raising my hand.
Every fight.
Wait a minute. They spit acid in the crab's eyes and mouth? Hey, Mother Nature. How about being a little nicer?
But these fucking ants weren't supposed to be there. We were like, oh, cool, Madagascar. Ow, an ant flicked it, and the ant was like, the fuck is this?
Hey, crab legs.
Hey, fellas.
How that?
Let's get after it.
Get your acid balls ready in your mouth.
Destroyed them.
It's called 2 eyes and 1 mouth.
Dude, and then they showed, hey, spoiler alert for you fucks out there. Like, come on, man, I've been waiting all year for Planet Earth 2. They're animals, so it's happened millions of times. They're just showing it to you guys in a different form right now.
Sure.
So there's you remember that video we got in trouble for?
Yeah. When we showed the iguanas?
They showed that.
Yeah.
Dude, you want to talk about a rough life? Those iguanas, they have to come down and they put their eggs into the beach, into the sand, deep in the sand. Well, when those little dudes hatch, it's once a year. That's why all the snakes are just like, no, but they're just waiting. As soon as they see it go, they're fucking, so while they're snacking on his brother, he pops up like, run, and they have to get over the hill. So,
Jesus Christ,
2 out of 100 might make it over the hill.
So basically you're going from in the egg. You're in an egg, and so egg, average life iguana, egg, inside egg, nothing but white, a lot of water, and then crack, air,
Sand.
and now snake belly.
No, they're literally like,
snake belly.
Oh, God, it's tight. And they get out, and then they're like, what the fuck? And then as soon as the snake sees movement, it's just like,
giant
stressful.
snake that comes and eats you.
I wish it was one. It was hundreds of them.
Oh,
because they know every year.
So a sea of snakes is coming at you.
Straight up.
How the fuck?
The ones that make it, they go through some shit. They go through American Ninja Warrior just to get to the other side.
Yeah.
They're like climbing, swinging, dodging.
Well, you know
dodge,
what?
Duck,
That's
dive,
kind of how.
dip.
See, when you see nature in the raw, and you see how difficult it is to make it to the top.
God.
Every time, this is going to sound weird, but every time there's a government bailout of a company, or every time we got to make the playing field equally easier, I'm always like, damn, man, it's a tough
they're
one.
lizards though, huh?
No, but human beings is hard
Dude,
enough.
you want to talk about a rough life? That was a stretch, but I hear you. But there's penguin. They showed the penguins. It's like Penguin Island. It's just a shitload of penguins. This is in Madagascar, some frozen place. There's so many penguins, and then they have the little ones sitting there, and the mom and dad. So they have to go in the ocean, grab fish, swim back. You should see the tides. You should see the shit that they go through to get these fish.
Yeah.
It is so rocky. And then it's these huge waves that they ride, and they have to hope that they don't crash face first into the rocks or the cave.
Jesus.
So they land, and then they got to hurry up before another wave comes. They make it, but they have to go. They switch off. So the dad goes while the mom watches the little chicks. Because if they both dip out, there's these fucking vultures, not real vultures, but some sort of weird bird.
Seagulls?
That's not even seagulls. It's like this weird fucking
Ospreys,
Satan black
like
bird.
an osprey.
And it's gonna eat the little chicks.
Yeah.
So every other day they switch. They switch going.
One's
so
watching,
one
the other
goes,
one,
fills up with fish, comes back, just feeds the guts. The other one goes. Oh my God. And then I'm like, how the fuck?
Hey guys, sounds like Hollywood and being an actor.
Dude, then how can they find each other? Wait till you see. What do you watch this? It's literally millions of penguins, and they're like marching back, and they find them because they do certain calls. It takes them quite some time to find them.
It takes them a while.
Because it's miles long with penguins. I was stressed out. I was in my undies, in my bed, smoked a little weed, and I was like, oh my God. From the iguana coming out of the sand, not having a fucking chance, to the penguin making that hike back and forth, the mom and dad.
Life is a war. Life is a war.
Oh, then how about he's a marsupial. He has the cool eyes, the hands.
A lemur.
A lemur.
Yeah,
Give it up.
Yeah,
They have this lemur, right?
I know that because Kirstie Alley whose house I've been to used to have 2 blind lemurs. She would rescue animals, and she had 2 blind lemurs living in her closet.
Can't be a blind lemur making this
I was like,
world.
well, all right.
Unless Kirstie Alley adopts you.
Alley.
Otherwise,
Unless you're the one.
El Panther's all. Wait a second.
big celebrity
You
adopts
can't even
you.
see me.
Oh, forget it.
See ya.
Yeah.
So they show these fucking lemurs. I love a lemur.
Yeah, I think
Some of my
eagles eat them
favorites.
too, right?
I don't know. Not on this island. No eagles on this.
Harpy eagles
on
or
this
something?
tropical island. There's no eagles.
Okay.
Son. Anyways, it's not your typical lemur. They look kind of weird. You know how they jump from tree to tree?
Yeah.
Not this lemur. This lemur lives in an area where there's spikes on every tree. There's literally thorns on every
Well,
tree.
what the fuck? How's he supposed to do anything?
Well, he jumps from thorn to thorn, and then he's like feels it, and there's these little green nuggets that he eats.
Oh, Christ.
And then the baby's on the mom's back, but they have to warm up their paws because they're not
me a
ready.
fucking,
oh
like,
my
hey,
god,
man.
Hey, Animal Planet, can you show me a positive fucking animal?
Well, history.
it was so I was so stressed out. I don't know if it was the weed or what.
Yeah.
I was so stressed watching this.
But the history of mankind is a little bit similar. Like when you read about history, you pick up a novel from like the 1800s. Everybody was hungry. You were always hungry. Somebody was always dying of something. You just always some disease. It was always a fever, smallpox. Smallpox is a good time, by the way. I don't know if you looked that up. You get blisters in the inside and outside of your body. That's fun. And if you survived all that disease and starving, well, there was always a war. There was always a war. There's always somebody gonna invade you, like the
Dude,
Mongols.
How about this one? And we'll end on this, and we'll move the fuck on from your history and Animal Planet. This fucking bird, they have this plant that it drops their seeds, and then the birds, it'll like catch on, they catch on the bird's feathers.
Yeah.
Then when they fly, they drop and they spread their seeds.
Sure.
Unless, because they're sticky.
Like giant feathered bees. Keep going.
Kind of. Unless they're think of seeds covered with honey. They're real sticky.
I do all the time.
Well, fuck it. This bird, some of these birds land, they're like, oh, cool, food. They go down, plop, and there's a bunch of seeds on the ground. Well, now you're covered in these honey seeds.
They can't fly.
Oh, he can't fly. So it shows this bird like, what the fuck, man? Oh, there's my friends. What the fuck, man?
No.
No. Listen, Animal Planet. Is there a way you could spray him off? Maybe let him get in there. Nah, we're gonna film this for the next 48 hours as he passes away and cries out to his friends flying
So
up
he just
above.
dies of
He's all,
exposure.
"Ah!
Dies of starvation.
Ah!"
And
2
dies of-
days. No.
Dies of thirst.
I was all. There's no way they're gonna show this whole
Hey
thing.
guys, can you pick the seeds off his feathers and let the guy fly away? We get it. He's gonna die.
But at least save one animal.
Nope, can't
Planet.
get in the way of nature.
I know they're like,
go ahead
"No,
and
it's
die."
nature's." I was wondering. I was like, how the fuck did they get these shots? And they actually showed behind the scenes because they're filming the fucking El Komodo dragons.
Oh, yeah.
They're dinosaurs.
they sure
That is
are.
a dinosaur. It's the biggest lizard
And
on
their
Earth.
mouths are dripping.
You should have
with
seen 'em.
terrible bacteria.
Dude, you should have seen it. They were so fucking big. They showed two fighting forever. It was dope. I'm like, how the fuck did they get these shots? I'm like, maybe they have like hidden cameras and the animals don't pay attention. No,
No, they're right up
they
there. They're
hang
right
out
up
with
there.
things. It showed one guy filming it. It was like trying to bite him, but they have these sticks where they like push him back.
Well, you don't want to
God, dog. Oh, and it takes them 6 to 10 years to just film these.
You don't want to get it's so much patience. You don't want to get bit by a Komodo dragon. They
Poison,
are,
son.
Oh, they're Coyote
Remember,
Peterson will
Coyote
tell you about
Peterson was
that.
telling
Yeah.
us.
They're dripping, but you get a systemic infection. You'll get the worst kind of strep staph / uncurable bacteria infection, and it's poison.
As Rogan says, Mother Nature's a bitch, man. You watch that, you're like, God, fucking God. Hey, Animal Planet, show me something positive, man. Give me. I mean, you could have helped the bird out with the seeds.
Now
You want something that's also not positive, and you probably didn't watch this either. The UFC fights.
I was going to say, talking about nature.
You didn't see it, but I'll tell you.
I need to hear about the Travis Browne.
I need you to watch Planet Earth and fights.
Well,
I need you to cover animals and fights.
Yeah.
So
I will.
At the UFC last night, and obviously we'll get balls deep into the Big Brown Breakdown this week, but I thought Travis looked good. I was like, holy shit, he's back, man. Good luck beating that guy. He was murking Derek Lewis up. Hit him to the. Did you watch it, Chin?
Yeah.
Hit him to the body. It looked like Derek Lewis had some real issues with
That was a weird
the body
hit to his
shots
body, yeah. Didn't
because
make
he
sense.
would hold his stomach like this. But Travis, he wouldn't. I'm like, why isn't he jumping on him? I understand Derek Lewis is tough, but this is your kill. Like, there's nothing you can do for a body shot. When you're hit to the body, there's literally nothing you can do. It's not a toughness thing. It's just you really can't function. That shows you how tough Derek Lewis is to hang in there.
So he caught him with a liver shot or something?
No, he's kicking him to the front of the belly and just landed a couple good shots with his kick because he's back to kicking.
Right.
Travis looked loose, fluid. I was like, good luck being. This is the Travis we know. He looks fucking good, man. Had Derek Lewis in trouble early on. Definitely won the first round. Easily won the first round. Second round comes out, and Derek Lewis' whole thing was to push because in the right, his corner was talking about how they need to push Travis Browne back. You don't want Travis being a bully come forward. That's when he's fucking trouble. Trust me, he's trouble when he can come forward. So you have to bully him and get him on his back foot. He doesn't fight well going backwards. Derek Lewis couldn't do it. He started out doing it, and then ate a couple of shots. It was like, fuck, it's tough to do. And then he rode the cage, which is trouble. And then that second round, I think he didn't respect him as much. And that fucking Derek Lewis, man, he touches you. To me, he's the hardest hit in the heavyweight division, hands down right now.
Jesus.
He cuts to 265. I mean, his right hand grazed Travis Browne and sat him down. Literally grazed the top of his head, sat him down.
Damn.
And then when he had him against the cage, landing those uppercuts and stuff like that, Travis Browne goes, "Don't stop the fight. I'm fine." He was not fine because then after that, it was all downhill. And then and I don't think Derek Lewis he's not a technician. He's just that raw power man. Like when Travis Browne tried to take him down and reversed it, and he didn't reverse it with his hit. He just literally just deboed him to the ground, threw him down the ground, landed him out, and then went to work. And then Yamasaki, again, there's no repercussions for him not stopping the fight because I think I counted 9 unanswered shots.
9?
From a heavy
9?
From a 265
But wait,
pound
was
heavyweight.
Travis responding or fighting back? Or?
No. You got to see it.
His head was bound like a basketball.
It's one of the worst I've ever seen.
dangerous.
Because
So
it's
bad.
different because at heavyweights, it's different. You should, if anything, you should err on the side of caution where you're going to stop a little early.
100%.
Where he's like, he might have fought back, but I'm glad I stopped early.
100%.
You don't go, let's make sure he's flatlined. You don't do that with heavyweights. You don't. Because Travis, there's no fighting back. There's no fighter's chance. He was concussed. You got Derek Lewis, who's the hardest ground and pound in the game. Like, what are you doing?
Right. Why did he watch that? Why did he not stop it?
Who knows? Talk to him.
Yeah. It was obvious. Everybody was going stop the fight probably.
One of the
I
worst.
was yelling at it. I'm sure everyone was.
I was
yelling at
literally yelling at my TV going, stop the
Jesus.
fucking fight. Stop it.
And Travis got back up pretty quickly and was standing there.
You need to see the fight, sir. No.
No, I'm saying after they were done.
No.
He was out.
He was down for a while.
Oh, no, I'm sure, but so it took him a while to get him back on his feet and everything.
Yeah, it was bad.
Jesus.
One of the worst I've seen in a long time, especially when you have a guy like Derek Lewis punching in the face.
Well, also when you don't stop a fight like that in time, it can literally stop a career. I mean, it can stop.
Yeah, it's a little extreme. But they always need to err
Shorten one.
on the side of caution. Especially with heavyweights. With other weight class, I get going a little long. Hopefully the guy pulls out. In that situation, though, okay. So Derek Lewis concussed him, has him out on that because of that first shot where he goes out, and then he kind of comes to. Stop it there.
Yeah, of course.
There's no harm in it, but again, there's no
It's the same thing with the Masvidal Cowboy Cerrone fight, even though it was at the Bell.
completely different. B. That's a stretch.
You're still no, it's not a stretch because what I'm
that-
saying is that
but-
you still get knocked out, so you can see his head. Now you're going to put him back in a.
That's
as
the
his
corner. That's
as
the
his
corner.
That's
Completely
his- yeah,
different
his corner, his corner,
situation.
his corner,
Yeah, that's a stretch. Bro.
Yeah, but I just think
this is different because it's the ref's job.
Right.
In that situation, that would be the corner's job.
Yeah.
You're talking about apples
err on
and
the side of
oranges.
caution either way.
With heavyweight to the full extent.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Travis Brown's in a tough situation, man. They made a comment earlier how he said, if I can't fight for gold, then, I don't do it for money. So I'd be done. Well, if that's your, if that's your motto, if that's your thing,
Yeah.
that's your,
Yeah, it's tough.
yeah. As much as they're paying him, it's going to be interesting to see what they do,
They would. You think they would cut him? That would be pretty crazy to cut him, right? Even though that's going to be 4.
It's 4 in a row.
4 in a row.
And his last win was against Mitrione, where he poked him in the eye. And his last legit win was against me. It's bad when they show highlights of your fight and I'm on there. That's not good.
a long
I haven't
time
fought in 3 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's not good.
No.
Yeah. So it's just I don't know. And again, for me, Travis's whole thing, when that first round, I'm like, Travis is back. Good luck. That motherfucker's going to be tough to beat.
good.
He just doesn't have the killer instinct. He doesn't have it here anymore, man. I'm pointing to my brain for you guys who can't see. He just doesn't. It's just not that original Travis Browne that fought Struve, that was murking, Overeem, that Bigfoot.
Josh
So he got
Barnett.
hurt. Josh Barnett, Gonzaga. It's just not there. It's not there. He would have put Derek Lewis away. So I know and it's up to him. He's still a top 15 guy. Top 10, no, not anymore. He'll be out of the top.
But you
10.
did see him. You did see a change in his movement and his.
It doesn't
fighting style.
matter. It does. He was so much more technical, and Derek Lewis is not even funny. Like Travis, one of the most technical strikers in the game. But when you don't have that killer instinct, you can't put a guy away when he's hurt like that, and you can't really even take a shot anymore. It's kind of like if you don't have the killer instinct, it doesn't matter.
Was he trying to be? Well, you said when he didn't finish him after scoring those body shots, do you think that was a function of him trying to be patient and part of his game plan, or do you think it was more hesitation just because that's where he's at with his?
I think he
fight
has so
game?
many losses, and he's been knocked out before. So you could chalk it up at the smarter route to go, but not really with a dangerous guy like Derek Lewis. Obviously, that's not the smarter way to go. When in the past, you get hurt by Travis Browne, you're in trouble.
Yeah,
Big trouble. His leg kicks look good, everything looked good. It's just not the same guy. So that's up to him.
Our
to
boy
figure it out.
Mitrione, kidney stones, rescheduled to fight for.
They don't know. They don't know.
that's a
Probably
Yeah,
2
they
months.
might rebook him or they might rebook Fedor with someone else.
I talked to Matt this morning. I asked him, I went, it sounds like they might rebook Fedor with someone else, man, if you're not ready. He goes, no, there's no way. That's my fight.
Man, what an opportunity.
I know, squashed.
Do you know much about kidney stones?
They're a nightmare. I don't know him, but I know
They're
people had 'em.
awful. And anyone out there who's like, yeah, he should have been a...
You don't know. What
I'm
you're
telling you,
talking
stop all that bullshit there.
about. He got a lot of that shit on the internet too. It's like, shut up.
I don't even
Of
know.
course
what they
you are.
I don't know how
They're
they-
horrible.
Yeah.
They're horrible.
But
It's-
everything I'm
they
reading
say it's the
is
closest
terrible.
thing like a man can get to giving birth. It's so
Worse,
bad.
I heard worse, too.
Yeah, it's definitely not worse, but it's like, think about like it's like these little rock spurs, and they have like these little fucking thorns on them going through your urethra tract. Like it's fucking.
Dude, my sister-in-law in the middle of the night knocked on my door. She's staying with us, and she fell to the ground, and she's a proud gal who's not a pansy. Fell to the ground, and she goes, "I think I'm dying."
Well, no,
like, all right.
my brother had him. He got him because had a shitty diet and he was a little overweight, and he got him. He was like, he lost 40 pounds because of it. He only eats clean now. Like he says, the worst pain he's ever had, hands down, in his life. Not even
My dad was
close.
the same. My dad had a giant.
Anyone
kidney
you
stone.
talk to, like I think it's case by because some people like I passed and wasn't that bad. It just depends. But for Matt, but remember, Matt wanted to continue to fight. The commission pulled him. So when people give fighters shit online, like you don't know what you're talking about. You're online for a reason. Fighters fight for a reason. You're online talking shit for a reason.
My dad had kidney stones, and then they gave him the operation where they had to remove one because it was so big. Then he had hiccups for 2 weeks straight. He just kept hiccuping. That's a good time.
For Matt though, hopefully they don't pair Fedor or someone else, or if they do, hopefully Matt gets a fight after that. But I don't know how much is left in Fedor's tank. I could see him doing Fedor Congo. That would sell. And Congo looked good.
Who has he fought? Who has he
Granted,
fought
it was
lately?
Ollie Thompson. He
I
just
haven't
fought.
Heard. He did?
Yeah.
Who?
Ollie Thompson.
I haven't heard. It's
Yeah,
just
not
been-
keeping up.
feels
It's
like
all
been
good,
quiet.
brother. Yeah.
What? So Matt's kidney stones. Do you know why? Was it because of weight cutting? Is it just
No, he doesn't
happen
cut
like
weight.
that?
He doesn't cut weight. It just
Oh,
happens.
yeah, you're right. It doesn't cut weight.
No, it
What
doesn't
am I
cut weight.
saying?
Some people it just happens. And my brother wasn't cutting weight. A lot of times it can be diet. A lot of high protein to do it. If you have a high protein diet, a lot of protein.
And there are different
powder,
kinds of kidney
amino
stones.
acid. Yeah,
Different kinds.
it's bad, man.
Yeah. Some are diet related. Some they don't know why you have them. There's a lot of reasons.
Shitty deal.
Uh-huh.
And age isn't anything either.
Yeah, age can be something.
Yeah, I think so. It doesn't really happen in young people. Not
It
too
just
much.
depends.
Shitty deal, man. Real bummer.
The machine is complicated.
Real bummer, man.
It really is.
I thought it was funny. I was at the gym this morning. I heard some guy go, President's Day is just not the same anymore. It's just not the same. Not Trump's.
Excuse me?
Well, what did you used to do?
Yeah,
on
what was it?
President's Day?
I didn't even know it was President's Day. Until somebody told me it was like
did
Monday
you not
was
paint your face this year? What the fuck are you talking about?
Woo! Woo! Abe Lincoln.
And I heard some other guy go, amen, brother. I'm like, hey, man, I have my headphones on. I can hear you guys talking this nonsense.
Yeah, well, what does it mean
What
anyway?
you used to do? Dress up as Abe Lincoln and fucking George Washington?
Yeah,
What did you used to do?
I actually don't even know. If you ask me what President's Day is supposed to signify, I don't even know. Do you?
Hey, then
Honoring our presidents. That's all I can imagine.
Honoring our
they're
president.
already the goddamn president of the
But
greatest
pull it up.
country
I
in
wanna
the
see what it
world.
says.
They've already won. What are we honoring?
Honoring
for?
our president. Well, how am I supposed to honor our president? Do we have to take a moment and like cheers him? Do we toast the
For
president?
being fucking
The
rich
fuck
and
are you talking
white?
about? Well, with Trump, he basically doesn't feel like he's the president. Trump believes he's the king.
Here,
so
go to that. The true meaning.
Oh, I got the wrong.
how to
one.
explain
Just
President's
go to the
Day.
true meaning. Top left.
Yeah, because Trump believes he's
Here we
the
go.
king.
Yeah, but let's hear this.
What are we really celebrating? Originally, it was John Wayne's birthday, honoring the father of our country. So then Abraham Lincoln, another great American, was thrown in. Once the holiday was moved to Monday to give federal workers a 3-day weekend, President's Day became completely unmoored from the date of Washington's birthday. Oh, okay, so it's George Washington's birthday.
I love me
Now
some
we
George
use the
Washington.
day to celebrate all presidents.
Oh,
yes.
so we're celebrating George Washington's
So
birthday.
you remember what George Washington said when they tried to make him king, right?
No.
This is great. So at the time, George the First was the king of England, and we had just fought a Revolutionary War against him, right? And so when they wanted George Washington to be king, George Washington said famously, "I did not fight this Revolutionary War. I didn't lead this war. I think it was an 8-year war, and he had suffered terribly through it." He said, "To become George the Second, I am a president, and that means I serve at the will and leisure of the people. And that's what we fought for, you dummies." That's the difference between a republic and a monarchy. Very
Hey,
important.
didn't he have wooden teeth?
That's what I have read.
That's what people. That's the.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what
Fake
most.
teeth.
He had wooden teeth.
Yes. It
That's
sucked.
so dope.
There wasn't a lot of. There was not a lot of.
Dental hygiene wasn't a big.
No, and
Yeah,
really,
pretty sure he had
really,
wooden
dental
teeth.
hygiene wasn't really a thing until almost like the '80s in a lot of countries.
The English
man.
are still like what?
There are some issues. Yeah, dental hygiene, and they've done a lot of studies on how dental hygiene actually, if you have bad dental hygiene, it can affect your heart.
Yeah,
the bacteria.
give you heart cancer.
That's right.
The bacteria floats around.
That's right. My buddy had a heart
people-
surgery, and he had to be like he had to rinse with a certain like a certain solution in his mouth because they were afraid that the bacteria get into his heart.
Washington's dentures were fashioned by some of the
Hippopotamus
best
ivory.
dentists. What's it say?
So he was losing his teeth at age 20, and then he had to replace them
ivory?
with hippopotamus ivory.
Yep.
A mixture of hippopotamus
Damn,
ivory.
that's gangster.
Yeah.
So
He had
it's sort
hippo
of-
I
teeth?
heard that they were ivory.
He had hippo. Well, you agreed that was wood, though.
No, but that was the myth. But that's why I said I've heard that, but I wasn't sure because I knew that part of it was ivory.
We didn't know it was hippo teeth, though.
Better
God,
dentures.
dog.
He
If
took
I
the-
have to replace my teeth, can I please get hippo teeth?
Hippo teeth. Hippo teeth.
God, that's so sick.
Listen, we got to kill
Hippo's
the
teeth
hippo.
are white as fuck if you think about
But
it.
excuse me, but just remember this, please, that they had to kill the hippo with muskets, probably, or
It's
spears.
gonna take a couple shots.
That's a big animal. They're related to the whale. That's a giant, fierce animal.
Jesus
You
Christ.
sneak up on it. You sneak up on it, shoot it in the head with a musket, and then we'll throw a bunch of spears in his face.
Hippo teeth. Oh, I'll tell you what was interesting. They had that Milo Minneapolis, whatever the hell his name.
Yeah.
They had him on Bill Maher's show. And it was crazy because Bill, I guess he didn't really know who he was. And fight people like, you gotta have him on the show. And he had him on the show. They do that opening, when they have a guest. It's just him and Bill. And I always hate on the guy, especially when we were talking about on Rogan. Like, you gotta hold him accountable for what he says. But he didn't come off as big as a tool as you
Right.
thought. Yeah.
Right. Very smart guy, actually. I think he's like Joe and I talked about. We were talking about it on the Fight Companion.
Yeah.
He's a troll. He's trying to get a reaction.
That's what he says. He goes, I do things just to get a rise out of you guys.
Right.
He goes, it's too easy.
It's too easy.
And then Bill's like, yes, please stop reacting to everything he says. It's
true.
just too easy.
It's true. I do think that the progressive left is super fucking sensitive to anything. I mean, you're talking about a group of people that there was a guy teaching yoga, or it was a woman teaching yoga in, I think it was University of Toronto or Canadian. And, they were teaching yoga and there was this huge uproar about this person wasn't Indian, so it was cultural misappropriation.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
that'd be
dude was
right.
teaching fucking yoga to people who were had disabilities, and it was helping them. And he stopped, and the fucking
made him
college
stop?
canceled it. Or when Harvard
Why is that in
cancels,
Toronto
or
all
when
the
Harvard cancels the entire men's soccer season because they were, emailing back and forth about the girls' soccer
We've been
team.
over that, yeah.
Yeah, but
Like
but
twice.
I mean, it's important to talk about because if you are basically censoring people that you disagree with. It might be offensive. It's boys talking the way boys are. Is that worth taking matters in your own hands and completely canceling? So their soccer season, young guys. This is, I think, what he's in a sense. I don't know much about his tweets. I don't know how offensive they are, but
He's
you kinda
offensive.
you need firebrands. I mean, you just give him power if you react to it.
That's what they're doing, yeah.
You know, he's got disinvited to something called CPAC. It just happened.
What is it?
It's some
Of course.
do you know about this? It's like a convention where conservatives speak, as far as I know. But
Right.
they just disinvited him now because
Well, his issue is I don't think maybe it's not so much because of his beliefs, because he comes with a lot of baggage now. Because anywhere where he speaks, there's shootings.
Yes.
People are getting beat up, so they don't need
Jake
that.
Shields.
Yeah, so now it's not even about that anymore. Like he's too much of a liability to bring him.
CPAC rescinds Milo Yiannopoulos. Handsome kid.
He'll suck your dick hard.
Yep. I'm not his
Like a
type.
conservative. No, you are.
I'm older, dude. I don't know. Gay men stopped
He
looking
likes
at me
black
a while
guys.
back.
He likes black guys.
Yes, he does. God bless him for that. Yiannopoulos is an editor of Breitbart News and a frequent supplier of racist and sexist rhetoric, will no longer speak at the annual confab, a decision that appeared to catch him off guard.
So there's further shutting him down.
Well, Twitter already
speaking.
banned him.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
God, that's a tricky one. I think if you're on social media just to spew hate, you shouldn't have a voice.
See,
Tough one.
And it's because you're not adding anything to the world. You're really not. And
You know that's against the First Amendment,
Twitter
though.
should. I know. But also Twitter's not a.
it's a private company, right?
It's a private company. So if it's my company, anyone who trolls, anyone's there for negative,
Mm-hmm. They have a right.
You can't have that. They don't though. They shouldn't have a voice.
No, I'm saying Twitter has a right to-
They do. Twitter has a right to do that.
their company.
Because and they're starting to control it even a lot more now because on social media it's become such a negative environment
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times that people are afraid to post things now, afraid because they get criticized there. And when you think about it, all that negativity just comes from people who are unhappy with themselves, which a lot of people are. That's why there's so many trolls, because they're not doing anything. So what they do is they follow people who are doing things that maybe they wish they did, or maybe they wanted to do but they don't have the balls, or they're just negative, mad people. You shouldn't give those people a voice.
Well, so let me
just
ask you this,
shouldn't.
though. Do you think that if you own a flower shop and a gay couple comes to you and they want to hire you to flower their wedding,
Which happened.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you feel you're against gay marriage because of your religious conviction. Do you think that the government or someone should compel you under the Equal Opportunities Act and
No, because that's your flower
That's your
shop. Now, if
that's your
it's a
private business,
now
right?
if it's, let's say, Barnes and Noble, it's like a huge chain, and then this one guy in Barnes and Noble, he owns that chain, but that's not the overall view or opinion of the overall.
it's a public
because it's a
company.
public company,
Yeah.
and they go, well, we're not selling to gays, and no, what the fuck you talking about? Barnes and Noble is everywhere. If it's a privately owned flower company,
Yeah.
and let's say
called religious
and
freedom.
for whatever reason, I'm just against Korean people. It's my priority.
Well, it's-
but I'm
it's-
also, you have a million other flower shops to go to. Those trolls, okay, so you ban them from Twitter and Instagram. Let them make their own. That's why forums exist. That's why they have their, like, Reddit and all these weird shit that they get onto, and they can post like Girl of the Week and jack off to, and like that weird shit.
Well, it's like a
Have them
restaurant.
do that.
A restaurant can refuse the right to serve anybody that they consider to be.
Their prerogative.
Yeah. Now, at the same time,
I'm not saying
we
it's
also
right.
have laws against discriminating against somebody for race,
That's why
color,
it gets
creed, or
tricky.
belief. And so there are laws that sort of, so in that sense, it's a murky area because you have some people who say, like justices, who believe that religious freedom and exercising that religious freedom in with actions like saying, I don't want to serve you because you live a lifestyle I don't agree with because it goes against my religious
It's so
principles.
silly because there's
But
so
then at the
many
same
other
time-
restaurants.
But you still have to have the debate because at the same time they can sue you and say you are discriminating against me
No,
for
I get
my,
it.
and
I
so it's
get
a
it.
tough, murky subject there.
It is weird.
It's tough. It's like, but that's why we have courts, and that's why you try to figure it out in a court of law. and I don't know where I stand on it actually.
Really?
Well, I believe in freedom of expression.
Chin, let's say there's let's say that you found out the Starbucks across the street that we always go to. That guy just fucking hates Koreans, man. Are you gonna go in there and buy coffee? Or are you gonna go to another fucking? There's one gajillion fucking coffee.
But sometimes there aren't, right? So you have to look at it as sometimes.
No, but there are though.
Well, but there are laws against that. So you are not allowed to discriminate. So you can't not hire somebody technically because they are.
Yeah, for sure.
race,
No, I
right?
get all that, B.
Yeah.
That's the easy stuff. I'm saying with Chin, like there's other options. Now, if you're putting your son into if Chin he had his son, he wants to have him playing this football league with other kids, and the league goes, no, because he's Korean. Well, then you got an issue because there aren't other places to go that's his area that he needs to play in.
Right.
Then you have a problem. That shouldn't work. But when it comes to coffee, cake, flowers, whatever the fuck it is,
Yeah.
figure it out.
The problem is that's not how the law works. You have to be objective.
No, I know the law. I'm saying for me, B.
Yeah.
I'm saying for like, let's say, whatever. Next door, they hate former athletes. Cool, man. I'm not gonna go. It's all right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No, but this is becoming a point where we have to make a choice because the justices are going to decide on that. So the law of the land has to be objective. So in other words, you either have first of all, if you're any kind of public institution that gets federal funding, then what you have to do is adhere to federal
For
law,
sure.
right? And but if you are a private company, you have the right to refuse, service to anybody that you consider to be offensive to your belief system, right? It's tricky because it's a very tricky thing because if you say I'm not giving you flowers because you're black, that's the same as saying I'm not going to flower your wedding because you're gay, right? Isn't it the same thing? Even though one is against their religion and the other is sort of against their notion of what racism
You're
is.
deciding who gets the flowers and not.
Yeah. It's a tough one though, because I don't know that I want, like you said, I feel like if Twitter's a private company, and I'm not even sure it is, but I think it is, or this company's a private company, I don't want to make a private or company do what they don't believe in.
Because this is an extreme example here, but trolls can hurt people, right? Like they can hurt if they're not confident and they get online, there's negativity. It's gonna affect their day. It's gonna affect their emotions. It's really gonna fuck people up. So, but they still allow them to do that. Now, terrorists or religious extremists can voice their stuff, but some of them, like certain ISIS people, they don't allow on, because they have certain ties with ISIS. They haven't killed anyone. They have no record of killing anyone, but the hate they spew, we don't want that.
Well, so the way they delineate that is by saying this, and Maya Angelou was great like that. She was talking about these KKK members. She wrote I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings and everything else. And a famous black poet and intellectual and writer. Yeah. She said, your right to freedom of speech, and it's very controversial because it's not actually the law of the land, but your right to freedom of speech stops when you are inciting other people to commit violence on me, right? So that's why it is not legal to scream fire in a crowded movie theater, because when you scream fire in a crowded movie theater and you create a stampede that hurts people, you can be held liable for.
But there's different ways to hurt people, right? Like let's say Chin every morning wakes up and DMs and tweets at some girl who's overweight and goes, "You fucking fat pig." Yeah. Every morning, "You fucking fat pig. You fucking fat pig."
Yeah.
She blocks him. New account. "You fucking fat pig."
Yeah.
New account. "You fucking fat pig."
Well, that's harassment, and I think you can get sued and stopped for harassment.
You're not going to get sued on Twitter. They can block your account, but while they do is create a new one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very tough because we do have, again, there is hate speech, but you don't want to be passing laws on things like hate speech because you run into how you define hate speech.
But if I run Twitter and Facebook, and if let's say someone reports this account and goes, "Listen, all this dude does is spew negativity all day," blocked. Can't be on here.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like why? But why even have that? Like they can't and it's not that you're quieting me. No, I'm not shutting you down. I just don't want you on this platform. Go to the forum.
What if
where
this?
it's free speech.
But you see,
because there's areas to do it where where these Cheeto fingers all get together and do it, and
yeah.
There's an area where they can all get together.
The only issue is that, like, say you always have to go back to the idea of who is deciding that is offensive and where are the parameters. So if you have a very liberal, for example, board of directors at Twitter, for example, and somebody gets on and starts talking about how abortion is murder and that if you have an abortion, you are a murderer, okay? Now, there are a lot of people that hold that religious conviction. The liberal board could then decide you're causing emotional duress to a lot of our female users, right? And so as a result of that, you're actually causing not only emotional harm, but maybe it's manifesting itself physically. You're not able to sleep, people getting sick. You can make these arguments. We got to block you. You get into this murky area, right?
That's a murky. There's murky areas, and then there's black and white.
Yeah.
Where there's trolls, and then there's opinions. I think there's difference. Because if you're anti-abortion, if you're not at some poor girl who just got an abortion, who knows why she's 16, dead broke, or drug addict, it's different. There's a black and white line between a troll and then I think an opinion.
Tough though to define, even though I know what you mean.
Yeah,
tough
no,
to
I hear you.
define.
It'd be tough.
Like tough
I wouldn't want
define
that
as
job.
legislation.
I
isn't
agree.
it?
Yeah,
and
but if you're a private
policy.
company,
yeah, it's.
I guess you have like a troll police.
I guess
like a team.
They're
we've
doing
had
that
that in
now,
history.
They're doing it now.
Twitter's
Though.
doing that
They're
now.
doing
Well,
it.
we've had that in history, and it didn't work out so well.
I don't like
Yeah,
that
but they didn't
they're
have social
stopping
media
him.
in history.
I don't like that they're stopping him from talking, Milo.
Milo-
but like you said, it's
The Soviet
company,
Union had a lot
you
of
do whatever you want,
yeah.
but it just kind of doesn't.
The
feel
Soviet
right
Union
to block them.
and Russia
I
in
agree.
general has always had lots of different, and in fact, Europe has had a lot of different guidelines on hate speech and speech because with the same notion that, well, you're speaking against the state. For example, I believe still in France and in Germany, Nazi paraphernalia and Nazi propaganda is considered illegal. It's actually illegal, and you can be persecuted for having a swastika, for posting swastikas, for denying the Holocaust, and that is the law of the land, I believe, in both Germany and in France. It may have changed, but I believe that was the case. That would not be the case in the United States because, again, as hateful as it might be, you're still running roughshod over the Constitution, the freedom to speech. So I think ultimately, if you want to have a country like ours, you kind of have to have a blanket policy of allowing anybody to say what they want. Yeah. It's up to you to choose whether or not you want to fight with that, ignore it, not listen to it.
Yeah, because they're messing. They're doing something with the mute and block on Twitter now.
Yeah.
Where before you mute and then if someone replies, you could still see it. They're doing something with that.
It's a good way for Twitter to actually get themselves into a situation where a competitor comes along and says, "This is the Wild West. You can do whatever you want." So it's dangerous.
because a lot of celebrities or a lot of public figures aren't gonna be like, "Yeah, let's go over there to the Wild West." You're gonna have all the people that you want to follow and that you care about their opinions on Twitter.
I wonder though, because a lot of people then you get sort of this new. It's kind of like the dark web. Then you get this new area where shit's happening, and people they go, I want to go see what's going on in this
new hot thing.
Yeah, I mean, the internet is great because it's the Wild West, because it's not regulated, because you can find anything you want. And again, we all, as human beings, certainly as Americans, like it when we are allowed to make our own choices, which is the whole debate behind legalizing drugs. I mean, you go to Portland, you go to these places where weed is legal. There's something about living in a society where I can eat what I want, where I can basically make my own choices, including get high, as long as I don't get behind large, machinery that's moving fast. I don't know, man. It's Americans have it's very dicey, man.
It's a slippery slope. I'm glad I don't have to deal with it.
Well, ultimately,
You got some current events, Jen?
I do have a few. Oh crap! There's one I was thinking maybe I didn't want to show you guys, but
What do you got?
I'll let you guys see it. Well, the first one is a simple one that you guys heard everywhere. Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, I blasted that out on Instagram.
Oh, you did?
He's hilarious.
Is he dead serious?
So
or
that's
is he
what I was
trolling?
going to ask.
Is this the interview here?
Let's see
no,
this.
this is just a small clip, but we've heard it all over the internet that he's saying that his comments were that the Earth was flat.
Well, he's obviously a geophysicist, and he's taken a look at all the physics. Everybody who has an opinion has never taken
but you're allowed
class
to have an
one.
opinion. But
Agent A said something that he last year had this thing with his girlfriend, and it was all over the internet. Do you guys know about this at all?
what was it?
Can you explain, Agent A?
The what?
His girlfriend.
Get on the mic, Agent A.
So
Powerful sideshow Bob haircut. I dig
Great
it.
hair. Great hair.
Thank you.
I do love your hair.
Talking on the mic.
Thank you. But his girlfriend Kaylani that he went out with, I guess it was never publicly out that that they broke up, And so his ex or her ex posted a picture that was an old picture. And then everyone started attacking her, saying you're a cheater, you're a hoe, and this and this and this. You only like him because he's rich and you fucked up. But really, it was an old picture. And then she ended up in the hospital because she was trying to commit suicide.
Jesus Christ. From
Yeah.
just getting
And
hate
then
on people online?
after that happened, he was like, we were broken up. Like, good luck to you. Hope you're happy.
Damn.
And then everyone back.
That's intense.
Yeah.
That's the power of social media.
That's the
negativity.
power. There's another example, but you know,
There have been people who commit suicide too from trolls.
sure, from
That's what's
being
crazy.
bullied and
Yeah.
stuff. But
Cyberbullying.
yeah, but
So you allow that to go on. Anyways.
Yeah, one
those are-
theory is that he's saying this to get all that attention from last year off of.
Well, but it's kind of off because he won a fucking NBA championship and they won it because of him. A huge part of the reason why they won, especially that game 7, was because of him.
Yeah.
Granted, they're not going anywhere.
if you're getting your ideas of what the Earth, the shape of the Earth, from somebody who's a basketball player and not Neil deGrasse Tyson or someone like that, then good for you. And you go ahead and listen to Kyrie. And you know.
But B, that's not fair. You don't know. Maybe he did listen to those guys, and maybe he listened to someone that he thinks is legit, or
sir?
because there's other researchers.
Sir, let me tell you something right now. There's zero argument for the Earth being flat.
I agree.
So
me
let's
and you
not-
are on the same here.
Yeah.
But let's say he listened to Neil deGrasse Tyson,
yeah.
and then some other, because there are some researchers who do, for whatever
Yeah,
reason,
they're
think the world's
not
flat.
researchers; they're idiots. But yeah, I get
I hear you,
Yeah.
but they're
Okay.
scientists.
Yeah, but if Kyrie Irving believes that, then that part of his brain is dead, and he's a
I
dummy.
hear you. I hear you.
But
man.
that's what he was saying, though. He said that he did his research, and that's the conclusion he came to.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Whatever,
That's a
whoever he's
bummer.
listening to, that's what he's coming.
But
to.
he and the people he's listening to are dummies.
That's a Duke education.
Yeah.
One of the greatest academic
again,
schools in our nation.
You keep believing that, and that's all good. You know the science. You're a scientist. When you have time, you're probably working on.
Yeah, but B, you're not a scientist. So when
No, I'm not.
so why should
No, I'm
anyone
not,
listen?
Brennan.
You're not a historian either.
Definitely
You're
don't
not
listen
a
to me.
historian either.
Definitely don't listen to me, my friend. But
we do.
But well, because
You can't just say
because
if you're not a historian
No, this is
or a
very no.
scientist.
This is very.
That's what you just
This is
said.
a very important distinction. This is a very important distinction. Excuse me. When all of the science, when I'm an educated guy who's been alive for 50 years, and there's no scientist. There's no scientist. And I mean there's no one who has been alive, who is even a writer, who is a scientist,
Oh, that's
who
not
is,
true.
who is an astronaut, who works at NASA, who would ever say that the Earth is flat. We put
Well, no,
that
there's
to
a
rest.
scientist.
We put that to rest. Even when Christopher Columbus was alive, most people who are educated knew the Earth was not flat. We put this
B,
to
I'm
rest.
with you, brother. And
when
all
you
our
say- when
listeners,
you say-
I'd say 99% of our
I know, but
listeners are
when
with
you say
you.
I don't know, you're putting me on the same level as that moron. You can't do that.
I can do that.
No, you cannot do
B,
that.
just because
'Cause my
you read
opinion
it
is
from someone
informed.
else. How do you know him? You do not know him. You do not know what he researched.
Brendan Schaub. When an idiot says
Why
that
is
the
he an
Earth is
idiot?
flat,
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
he's
Why
an
is he an
idiot.
idiot?
Because he's saying the Earth is flat, and that's
From
an
his
idiotic.
opinion, though.
It's his opinion is idiotic, Brendan.
When it comes to the Earth, I'm not defending
But
him.
why you are
can't-
defending him?
I'm not.
Don't put him on the same level. Let me
Just
talk.
because-
Let me talk. This is very important.
That's all you've been
Let me
doing.
talk. No, you've been talking the whole podcast. Let me talk.
Why are you so upset?
Because,
Why are you so
because I'm
defensive?
tired of this bullshit. I'm tired of this.
Yeah, you don't
Alex
do this with
Jones.
Eddie Bravo.
I'm tired of this out because it's because it would get ugly. I am tired of this Alex Jones stuff. I am tired of, I was thinking about this at 50 years old. I'm tired of, I'm not going to try to be liked anymore because I think there's such ignorance in the world, starting with Donald Trump, who's calling all the news fake, I'm not a fan of a lot of the media, but I am so sick and tired of all these people with all their misinformed points of view, where they are just completely bucking eons of history and knowledge that's been earned. There is scientific knowledge like vaccines, antibiotics, like the earth being round. These things have been earned over hundreds of years. And by the way, we all benefit every single day from science that has been earned, that has been experimented on, that has been proved. For example, the science that goes into your phone, the science that goes into giving you fresh vegetables and food in the wintertime, the science that gives you life-saving drugs, whether you have Hodgkin's lymphoma or you have an infection. These are the things that we benefit from every single day. They are empirically proven, meaning that they are measured from independent lines of inquiry. And all of a sudden with the internet, you have these cuckoo birds who come out and start talking about the earth being flat. They start coming out and talking about how there are these giant rings of globalist pedophiles who are controlling the strings, and this virtuous guy named Donald Trump is coming along and saving the day. When you have the benefit of spending a lot of time being educated and seeing and understanding how patterns emerge and studying history and seeing how bad ideas come about and kill people, that's what happens. People die when the wrong ideas win the day. That's really what happens. And people get hurt. And when you stop vaccinating your children blanketly, because you don't trust anything about the pharmaceutical companies, and you don't know how they're evil, you don't know how to distinguish between how they are evil, why they're evil, but you just blanket them and say they're all liars, the way Eddie Bravo does. What happens is you get kids who don't get vaccinated. You get kids who start getting measles. My child, who doesn't develop herd immunity because the vaccine doesn't take, can get measles. It just goes on and on. And when bad ideas win the day, it is destructive. It is dangerous. That's why I get passionate. That's why I get mad when anybody says that Kyrie Irving has a point when he says the earth is flat.
Never said he had a point. You done?
But why
Never
are
said
you?
he had a point.
But why are you even saying that we should be saying that his opinion should be respected?
It's not you don't have to respect him. You barely know who he is. I'm saying if he says the earth's flat under my research, I don't give a fuck. He's not a researcher, but you can't call him a dummy. You don't even know the guy.
Of course I can.
KB.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It'd be like saying, Brennan, watch this. It's literally the equivalent of me saying, you know that some humans can fly, right? Like they have wings. I've looked at the science.
See, if you said that, I wouldn't call you a dummy. I'd laugh at you.
Well,
like you're
okay, so I'll just laugh at him.
That's fine.
I don't think he may not be a dummy across the board, but at a certain, like, intelligence is compartmentalized, right?
I would say that's ridiculous that he said
Thank
that.
you.
I would not say Kyrie Irving is a dummy. I'd say that's so silly.
I would say
he could be trolling.
Yes. So in other words, it's a dumb thing.
Now is he Tyson, whatever the fuck?
Neil deGrasse Tyson?
No, he's not. He's definitely not.
If he's serious, it would be a dumb thing to say.
But if all we do is if people with opinions who aren't research are dummies, we're all fucked. We shouldn't listen to anything you just said.
That's not true. That's what I was just arguing. It's not true because we do know some things are true. We do know some things are true.
I know,
right?
I know.
And the reason we know those is because they've been experimented on. But more importantly, we live in a world and we benefit from them, right? We all do.
But remember, just 20 minutes ago, you're saying how great is that the internet's the wild, wild west. Right. This is one of the.
I wouldn't censor him. I'm not calling for censorship. What I'm saying is that if he's serious, and all these flat Earth people are actually kind of crazy.
I don't think it's flat Earth. That's not a real move. It's not like a real movement.
It kind of is.
I only hear from Eddie Bravo, and this is the first I've heard of it. Other than that, I don't think you need to go on a tirade and educate everyone on history. And
I'm not doing
stuff.
that, Brennan. I'm saying you can't put my opinion on the same level as this fucking guy when he says the earth is flat. That's a
I'm
ridiculous
saying
thing
we got
to
to be careful who we call dummies just because he's not a researcher, because you're not a researcher.
And I'm going to say to you, I don't have to be a researcher to know that some things are true and some things are false.
I agree.
Okay, and I'm also going to say to you that
that's my point.
If you're going to get on to announce to the world that the earth is flat, and I know the science, and you're not trolling and you're serious, then I'm going to say you're dummy.
We don't know if he's serious though.
Exactly, but if he is, then you're a bit of a dummy. And I can't listen to you about anything other than basketball, I would imagine at this point. Or take responsibility for people like me saying you're a fucking idiot.
Which I think he is, because you can see it says Kyrie finds the reactions hilarious.
Oh, there you go. All right.
There you go.
Then that's fine. But we do have, but listen, what I'm mad about is that we have a lot of bullshit on the internet. I think you need to do this in front of
someone who believes this, because when Eddie Bravo's around, you don't say shit.
Because I don't think it would, I like Eddie too much.
Why not have a debate though?
Because you can't debate Eddie. You know that. Because Eddie would never listen to what I'm saying. Eddie, and I don't want to do that to Eddie.
Because you're talking like it's this
I don't think that the Fight Companion. When Alex Jones gets 60 million downloads, I get very worried when the Sandy Hook parents get harassed and get hate that
those
they're
would be
lying.
the trolls.
I get very offended when I get very offended when I listen to that podcast with Joe Rogan, Eddie Bravo, and Alex Jones talking about this stuff.
But you're around. You're around. I would say it's a movement.
Well, I think when you have that many people
keen to
listening,
it 'cause
I
you're
worry.
listening.
When I have a president of the United States saying that it's fake news, when the FBI and the CIA says, "Hey, man, by the way, we just got these intercepts. The conversations that Flynn had and what he relayed to the vice president were not actually true. There's some discrepancies." Now, that's just a fact that the FBI and the CIA and the intelligence agencies give to the White House. They give it to the White House counsel. Well, now what happens is you get the president who doesn't acknowledge that and says it's all fake news. I get worried because Alex Jones says it's fake news. And now you got a lot of people saying it's fake news, and we're not listening to this guy who believes he's a king up there. So for me, I start seeing history and I get nervous and I get worried. I'm very nervous. How many people do you know that I dislike? You always make fun of me because I like everybody. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt, don't I?
Besides Trump, Kyrie Irving.
Yeah. No, I don't mind Kyrie Irving. I don't like, if I don't like somebody, I think he's a clear and present danger. I'm that dramatic.
You like
about
some morons.
I do.
Some actual dummies.
And if I dislike
so
somebody,
you call
I got
Kyrie
some
a
good
dummy,
reasons.
I'm like, well,
I don't know. I have no idea. He's not relevant.
Yeah.
Trump is very relevant to us.
super relevant.
Yeah. And so
Hey, that's your president.
it's my president.
It's President's Day, so watch your fucking
I like that
mouth.
you kept doing that to your dad, where your dad was like, Trump, and you're like, oh, excuse me,
Mr.
President-elect Trump.
President-elect.
And he's like, no, it's Trump. No, it's President-elect Trump.
I hear you, B. I don't think it's that big of a movement. I mean, the educated people and the people in colleges, it's the same thing with, like, I was thinking about this the other day with Scientology. Like, Scientology got big because they weren't allowed to go on the internet. They pulled them from schools. They had no education. It's going to be tough press to find someone to sign up for Scientology now. It's just...
That's true.
It's out. Everyone knows what's going on. People are like, what the fuck are you talking about? So that business, I'm sure, is going to go by.
Sure,
the
but dictators find their way.
He only has 4 years.
Sure.
So remember, if it was unlimited, then you should be super worried. With 4 years, you're going to see what he does. There's a time limit on his bullshit.
But you know what? I think what I'm trying to say is, like, I've been thinking about this a lot, maybe too much. But
you're around it too much.
But it's not that. It's also this. Like, when people criticize Trump, I never liked it, and you know why? Because the left was criticizing Trump, and what would they do? They'd slap huge labels on him. They'd say stuff like this. They'd go, "He's a racist. He's a homophobe." I don't believe any of that. Yeah. I actually don't believe he said any of that. I actually don't believe he's a racist or sexist. I don't believe any of that. That's never been my problem. So the liberal press is criticizing Trump, in my opinion, for all the wrong reasons. My sole worry with this guy, and it's proving myself, is that he doesn't understand the underlying principles of why this country is great. Like, he doesn't understand what makes this country great. That's what I worry about. And I think we need to get back to that.
The other issue is maybe he does, but what you see in press conferences and what he's saying,
Well, look, I'm not a fan of the press.
We don't know.
I'm not a fan of the press.
Because the press paints him in one light.
Yep.
Maybe behind closed doors, he's a different. The thing is, you want to talk about researchers? We actually don't know.
Well, I read a lot of conservative stuff. So even conservatives like Wall Street Journal, The Economist, they're way more conservative. So I think that CNN, HuffPost, I think they're bullshit.
I can't watch CNN
I think they're
anymore.
bullshit.
I stopped.
I think they've
CNN.
discredited themselves with the kind of shit that they harp on for Trump. If I was Trump, I would fucking hate them.
Did you
too.
see Trump when he was doing? I forget. He was doing a black lady, and she was talking about Chicago and getting someone together. And he goes, "I would love it if you got them together. I'd love to speak with them." Mm-hmm. And then they have her on, like, "Did you find it racist that because she's African American, that he asked you as an African American to get these people together?
He can't win."
And she was like, "Not really.
No."
She's like, "It didn't offend you at all."
Yeah, they're dying to find some racism.
And you know what happened?
Stuff.
She did that. They're getting together. He's meeting with them.
Right. Dude,
because he goes, I would love to talk to him. No problem. I'd love to, do you know someone? Can you get them together? I will go talk to him.
The liberal press has discredited themselves by going after that shit. And it's like, if you're going to, and again, it goes back to what I was saying. You got to understand the meaningful difference between things. If you disagree, if you don't like the pharmaceutical companies, if you don't like Donald Trump, if you don't like anything, you need to know specifically what about them you don't like. Be fair in your criticism. I am very critical of Donald Trump, not because I think he's a racist, not because I think he's a sexist. I don't agree with the liberal press and their decision. You know, that's all I'm trying to say. When Eddie says all of the for the bad example,
vaccinations?
but when he says all of the press is lying to you, right?
Yeah, that's not fair.
I go, it's not fair.
But the other side's doing the same thing.
Sure.
Donald Trump's the next Hitler. Like
This is the problem.
It's these huge exaggerations.
Right.
The thing,
but isn't that the problem with? We want to find a solution, right? We all want the best for people. If you're a fucking normal person, and when you're criticizing each other for the wrong reasons, and you're just going, you're an asshole. Basically, you're saying you're an asshole. If I say you're an asshole, we're about to debate, and you say I'm an asshole, we're done.
Yeah,
we're done. That's all I'm trying to say, man. I'm passionate about it, and I've been thinking about it a lot.
Super passionate.
Because I'm older, and I think it's
Super
dangerous.
passionate.
I think we're headed, if we don't get it together, this is not going to end well. And I really believe that, man. I'm never this way.
I think people overreacting. I think they're giving Trump too much power. It's 4 years.
Yeah.
You have 4 years.
That's a good way to look at it too. I didn't think
You only have 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I want him
sure,
to
everyone relax.
I want him to get some shit done. I want him to get,
He might not, or he might not do shit. In 4 years, we'll get through
fucking
it.
hard with courts, isn't it?
It's
like,
tough,
Like I
man.
realize how our founding fathers set shit up because they were like, all right, a lot of checks and balances.
You know, they say even the CIA and the FBI are withholding information from Trump because they're like, we don't like him. Like, we don't know what he's going to do with
They don't
the
trust
info.
him.
So we're not really giving him like the leads.
Correct.
So it's like, you just have this shitstorm. You have 4 years.
Well, the danger
figure it out.
there also is they were talking about that's how you do create a deep state. The deep state meaning that's how you create sort of a hidden network of power brokers in intelligence
For sure.
who go, you know what? Let's us start running this shit and we'll start feeding him false information because we don't trust him. That happens in Egypt. That happens in a lot of countries. That's
Some of our
worrying.
listeners going, politics.
It's not even politics though because it's going to affect all of us.
Yeah, but the
It's
Trump stuff,
life.
man, I'm with a lot of other people. I cannot handle any more of it.
Man, I think it supersedes that. I don't even think it's about
I stopped
Trump.
bringing those up a while ago.
We got 4 more years of this, so you guys will listen to every goddamn word we say.
Everyone!
You have 4 more years of Bryan
Everywhere.
going off like that.
I know, man.
Unless
That's why
he
I don't do
dies.
it on the fight companion. I get too excited.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and that's what I mean.
Thank you.
It's too much.
What do you got, Chin?
This is a gross one, and I wasn't going to show you, but
Show it to me.
I'll show you. There's a 75-year-old woman in Ohio, and she was molded to her chair.
What?
Because she didn't. So she would order food from someone at church, I guess. Some like Good Samaritan at church
Sure.
would deliver her food. And then she would go to the house, and then it would just reek from far away. And then they discovered later on that this woman has not moved from her chair for almost a year. So she would crap her pants, pee in her pants.
What?
And she was literally molded to her chair.
Jesus Christ. And
Stuck to
human
a chair.
waste.
I think even her skin started like
Falling off.
I would imagine.
getting stuck to
like
it. Yeah.
fat people, if you've ever watched My 600 Pound Life, like they have to move because
Is that a movie? Wait, was that
no, it's a show on TLC.
And you
600
know you watch
yeah.
it.
So not really. I can't. It's the same shit. It's just fat. and
My
then people-
600-pound life.
But if they don't move, their skin becomes like all erode. Like it's bad, man. Like they have to wash them and ugh.
yeah, well, when people...
So but this lady didn't die.
No, they were able to save her, so they removed her, and I guess she's in the hospital as we speak.
people who have paraplegics and quadriplegics, they have to be moved even in the middle of
Yeah.
the night because they develop lesions.
That-
Oh,
your skin
like
starts
bed
to break
sores.
down.
Yeah, I heard of
Yes.
that. Bed
Sucks.
sores.
And infections.
So what happened to this lady?
No, that's it. It's just crazy that they found her molded to a chair, and she's in the hospital. She's expected to survive. So
I'm going to have to give you a serious bath.
Crazy old bat.
I mean, you're
Wonder what
shitting.
the fuck she was eating.
God, even I can't even have a dirty ass. I got to clean that shit.
Ugh. What else you got,
yeah,
Chin?
that's gross.
I got a clean whistle.
This one, did you see this? This is an MMA one. A corner had to come in to stop a bout, and this is at Super Fight League in India. So this girl was getting choked out. The referee did not stop it, so the cornerman had to actually break into the cage and stop it himself.
That's
It's a real quick clip, so I'll show you guys right now.
Look at this! Is she out? She's out. Where's the ref?
So
The ref-
she's not
no,
moving.
Oh, wow.
She's out. I'm not
Jesus.
seeing-
Oh my God.
I think that's just
She's
reflex,
convulsing.
right?
Yeah, she's convulsing right now.
So
So this could
still
kill her. Yeah.
This
If
could
it's
kill
longer
her.
than usually a minute, it can probably kill her.
You can break the
Still-
neck too, right, B?
So finally he gets
no.
in there and it's over.
Yeah, you gotta be worried about death there.
Oh
yeah,
my
it was
God.
horrific
Jesus
to watch.
Oh my
Christ.
God, I don't like that shit at all. This isn't the Punjab. That's in India. Damn.
Super
Yeah, that's
fast
dangerous.
SFL.
Hold on to a choke like that.
Ugh.
Are those cages locked from the outside?
Typically are, but obviously you can jump
Don't you
the
feel
top.
it? You feel it when somebody's out. I mean, Or, but I guess not in the
It's
heat of the
tough,
moment.
man. But also, it's the ref's job to go in there and stop it.
You don't stop. Did you ever have a fight where you stopped punching the guy because you knew he was out?
No.
You just keep going, right?
Yeah. No.
But a choke, would you, if you didn't feel them moving anymore?
Let's
say
it's
30
it's
seconds
honestly
rises.
tough to tell.
Yeah.
Damn.
Especially that, a mounted guillotine, one-armed guillotine. That'd be
Can't see.
tough.
Yeah.
Did you ever
Especially if
have a
he's
fight? Did you ever
convulsing.
have a fight where you were angry at the guy?
Never.
Never.
What else you got, Chin?
Well,
This
one's
sure don't
from-
fight in India.
well, you saw this one already,
Oh,
right?
this is a good one.
So I'll just show this real quick, and it's just a guy that he's showboating just like Michael Venom Page, almost
Yeah.
exactly like he was doing, and then he pays for it.
He's dancing.
Did you see this?
Yeah.
High kick that lands and then
So
a
it'll
jab
come
to follow it
right
up.
here.
Again,
He's
with jab.
breakdancing, and boom, he's out.
Damn. Why would you do that and be that close to the guy?
It wasn't a smart move.
It's a good move.
I mean, I'm not mad at the dance move, but for sure do it out of reach.
Yeah.
Just gets kicked in the face.
Yeah.
God.
Are you guys following the Kim Jong Nam,
Oh,
Kim
yeah.
Jong Un
I was going to
story?
bring that up if you didn't.
Oh yeah. So it just gets crazier and crazier as it comes along. So last week, Kim Jong Un's half brother was murdered. Oh, it's pretty guaranteed.
Poison,
that he was-
right?
Yeah.
And they have the
poison.
lady.
So they have.
Didn't they spray some at him?
So they actually have footage of it right here.
Ooh, please show that.
Yeah. So, well, I'll show you guys first, and then we'll discuss it. That girl in the white. She puts that towel over the guy's face and then runs off. And it has that chemical, whatever, inside of it.
God, what kind of chemical is in that?
I don't know,
And
man.
it killed him. Yeah. So
Cyanide, maybe? Or
they're still trying to figure out what kind of chemical it is. But so who's involved right now is a guy from North Korea who's like this chemistry specialist. He was caught in that area in Malaysia. So he's one of the people that they believe concocted the thing. And then all these girls, there's two girls involved. Their thing is saying that they were tricked into thinking it was a TV show prank, and they got paid
Probably.
for it.
Good chance, yeah.
Yep. Smart way to kill somebody.
Holler at your boy, City Aisha. Holler at your boy. Don't kill me. Holler at your boy.
Which one is it?
That second one from the top.
City
I'm not mad at her. Yeah.
City Aisha.
Don't kill me, but I'm not mad at her.
Aisha.
Yeah,
I like her,
this
huh?
is like an actual spy movie. Everything that's happening. So there's four North Koreans still wanted. They're part of it. I'm sure you heard about this. And do you have any takes on it? Any of you guys?
Well,
It's like a movie. It's like a James
Exactly like a
Bond
movie.
movie.
It
And why
feels
would you
like
even want to
when-
kill him
when
in
I-
the first
Not
place?
too secretive, though.
Well, you know what Saddam Hussein used to do? He would, and I'm sure they do the same thing. So Saddam Hussein would decide that an expat, somebody who was living in another country, needed to die, and they would go to an Iraqi living there. I got a crazy story for you about this. They'd go to an Iraqi living there in that country, and they'd say, "Look, you got family members in Iraq. We don't want anything to happen to them, but somebody's going to meet you over at this restaurant. They're going to give you some materials, and you're going to kill your friend." And so what would happen was, listen to this, Iraqis, when they would see somebody from Iraq, an old friend, they would not talk to them. They would somebody'd smile at you and be like, "Hi." And they'd be like, "What are you doing here?
They're worried.
This ain't a fucking coincidence. I might get killed." Not only that, but the Iraqi embassy in New York City was having people over. "We'd like to honor you for a dinner. You and your wife come over." They'd come there. They would kill them in the basement, put them in a coffin, and ship them to Iraq.
Didn't
They would-
the
they would
Russians
torture
have
them.
something where you
Sure.
you just put it on and you wouldn't know?
Oh yeah, they have a
was
apparently they have
untraceable.
something you can touch that's untraceable and you would die.
I thought that was Brazilian. Wasn't it also like a Brazilian?
The Russians are very good with poisons. Apparently the Americans had it's actually on YouTube. They had a gun that would shoot a tiny little piece of ice that you wouldn't feel into your neck, and it was a poison. It's fucking easy to kill somebody, huh?
Yeah.
When you're
Pretty
when
easy.
you're an intelligence agency. I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy when you think
It's kinda
that you
cool
can-
to watch.
You can
Kinda
you
scary,
Can, you
but-
can recruit if you have a system of terror. You know what totalitarian means?
You think Americans are scared because of Trump? How about if you lived in fucking North Korea?
And
that's
this
the
guy's
worst.
already defected. He was out. He was out of there.
North Korea is considered a totalitarian state. You'll hear this a lot. Do you know what totalitarian means?
Please tell us, B.
So that means having control over the total person,
Mm-hmm.
your mind, your body, everything. It's You know that's the agenda of the North Koreans.
Oof.
He's a king.
What else you got, Chen?
This one was not too long ago. Playboy. If this works, Playboy is going back to nudes after. But the thing is, I checked to
No shit.
I checked to see if the sales went down, but they're going back to nude after they pledged not to a year ago. So they're going back to nude pictorials, and I thought it was because of a money thing, but it looks like their sales were up 30%.
Then why are they doing it?
They just wanted to do it. Like the Sun wants to update the pictures and make it look cooler.
I think there's a happy medium because there's some articles in Playboy that aren't terrible. Then throw in a couple nudes, maybe a little more well done. That's crazy. Their sales were up 33% after getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Well, apparently they have very good articles.
I
Did
wonder.
you ever order Playboy? Have you ever? Because me and Brendan
I've
talked
read
about
some of
this.
the articles in it, but I've never.
I've read some of it, but I've never bought one.
Yeah, I mean, not in the age of porn.
Yeah, that's kind of
I mean,
The other, maybe sales are up because if they get rid of the nudity, like, you know how before Playboy's like in the back, black covered. So without the nudity, they could be in the front, so more people saw it to buy it. Because if there's naked women on the front, you can't be in the mainstream. Like you're not on the Rolodex thing. You're not in the front. There was always in the back, and there's a black cover. So now maybe they're doing a little more classy than the front. So
that's
more
actually a
people
really
see
good point.
Yeah.
I'd probably be way more willing to buy it if I, saw that it wasn't nude too.
But also, have you ever seen a guy in the airport on the plane carrying around like a Playboy or a Hustler? Like, good God, man.
God, that's weird.
Like, even
huh?
if you have one, you're going to cover it with like Men's
I
Health.
know, but some guys are like, I got a Hustler. Come on, you're buying a
Just
Hustler.
tits out and it's rolled up.
Look at it. Yeah, look at my.
You obviously
look at
know,
my
like no one's
pussy.
reading it. He's obviously going to go in the back of the plane and jack off.
Well, Hustler was always the magazine as a kid. I
Raunchy.
remember. Yeah, it'd be the girl open and just showing you everything going on, whereas Playboy was a little bit more,
Classy.
Yeah.
And then
Penthouse
and then
was the best.
celebrities.
Yeah.
I thought
Penthouse.
Playboy is the best. Still is like,
I can't remember if I even looked inside, but I remember Penthouse and Hustler. And Hustler was pretty crazy.
some are just too raunchy. Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, Hustler
Christ.
had actual still sex scenes, right? Like you'd be like, hey.
So did
No, Penthouse does too.
Penthouse and Hustler.
Yeah.
Playboy is the classy. They kept it classy.
Yeah. Hugh. Hefner.
Like if you could mix, and this is what they should go for. If you could mix like GQ and Playboy, like you have GQ articles with fashion, then you toss in some tits.
Yeah.
You got yourself.
By the way,
you got yourself a magazine.
Hey, Hugh Hefner might have lived in many ways like the ultimate dream. I mean,
He's still alive. He still is.
yeah. I mean that crazy mansion.
Have you seen his wife?
No.
That crazy mansion.
I've seen
nothing but the best looking
on
women. I've
TV.
He
all
sold the
seen.
mansion. He still lives on
Really?
the property, though. I think he lives in the back house now.
Really?
He sold it.
Wow.
Whoa.
I think like 6 or maybe 12 million.
Have you been?
Yes.
So like,
Old as fuck.
You guys have been.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How was
You know
it?
they used to have fights there.
Oh, crap.
Strikeforce used to, Strikeforce used to hold like Strikeforce Challenger Series in his backyard.
I went there.
Brandon
It was-
Thatch fought there.
Ooh.
Oh, I do remember hearing this story.
Is
Then.
he out of the UFC?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Side note though, but yeah,
He fought there.
Playboy Mansion's old. It's old, man. Yeah, I think the guy who bought it owns a place next to him. I think he sold it under the condition that Hugh can still stay there and he can't tear it down. I think the guy some guy was going to buy it and tear it down because he had the house next to it. Just going to build like a huge area.
How is that back room where he's supposed to be staying? Hugh Hefner.
I don't
Have you
know.
seen it?
It was on. God, what was the show? The three.
That's the one I know him from.
The girl. What was it called?
Girls Next Door? Girls
Next Door.
Oh, yeah.
Because the bitches live next door. There's his 3 girlfriends.
Girls
live
Next
next door in that place. Looked all right.
Yeah, they swim
3
around the
bedrooms.
grotto.
The grotto.
Pretty crazy, man.
James Caan lived there for a while, I guess, when he was
Sick.
at the height of his powers.
Sick.
Lived there.
What else you got, brother?
Be a good time.
This one's a little controversial. Did you hear about this? This is Obama era rule that if you applied for Social Security for a disability and you're agreeing that you have some sort of mental illness, you wouldn't be allowed to purchase guns. And we talked about this a little
Yeah.
bit before, right?
Yeah.
So Congress passed this rule now that they're blocking that. So if you are mentally ill, you can purchase guns now.
The problem,
Like
the problem always
75,000.
hinges on how do you define mental
Yeah.
illness. So,
So-
in other words, I'm depressed. Is that a mental illness?
Yes.
Right? Yeah,
So
I have-
part of it
I'm
was
bipolar.
Yes.
bipolar, schizophrenia that was listed.
Can't have any guns.
I think schizophrenia, if you're schizophrenic and you think you're somebody else, I'd rather you not have a gun. I mean, then again, sometimes schizophrenia hits people in their 20s, and then by the time they're 40, they're completely cured. They never
Yeah,
have
you
another
did talk
incident.
about this too when they're younger and it goes away
It's-
forever.
I do think that when you open up with a gun in a movie theater or whatever, you have a mental illness. Typically, I don't think it's a gun problem. I do think it's a mental illness problem.
sure.
But again, this is another subject that I'm glad I'm not writing up legislation because.
I think any form of mental illness shouldn't have access to a gun ever.
But the only thing is, how do you define mental illness, right? So in other words, if I say,
Just name a couple. I'll
well,
tell you.
okay, so
depression,
so I have to take,
yes.
What if I really?
Bipolar, yeah.
If I
can't
take-
have your ass depressed with a gun. What the fuck you need a gun for?
You'll kill yourself. But what about this?
Yeah.
What about this though? Hold on. What if you take Xanax for anxiety?
Can't have a gun.
Really?
Liability.
Okay, so but have you ever been depressed periodically?
Nope.
You never have.
Sure haven't. Like clinically depressed?
Well, I mean,
Never.
everybody as a human being can be depressed.
You
You
gotta be
report
this-
depression, right? Now you have to decide like to what level.
Well, there's clinical depression, and trust me, if you have clinical depression, I know some people.
Sure.
You know,
So in other words,
like it might like today it's raining outside. I'm like, ah, man, little blue. I'm not gonna shoot up a theater because of it. I'm not gonna not get out. I cannot not get out of bed. Like there's
Right.
people with depression that can't get out of their
sure,
bed.
sure. But then
Hey,
then
can't
how
have a
would you?
gun.
So then would the question be, have you ever thought about taking your own life?
Yeah, I can have a gun.
But I'm sure a lot of people have. There are a lot
haven't.
of soldiers that have done that, but they're excellent soldiers.
Can't have a gun.
You're being pretty harsh here.
Why, man? Why do they need guns if they have any form of mental illness?
Because trying to navigate the human mind and all its many moods, all of us
Only
have
happy
been,
people can have
all
guns.
of us have been depressed. All right, let me ask you a better question. This is even better. And I know as a human being, have you ever been so fucking mad you wanted to punch through a door or punch somebody in their face?
Since I've been a grown man, not really.
But I mean, you.
I
can-
really haven't.
Okay, well,
don't have those
I
angles.
have.
And
right?
if you had a gun, you'd have shot him?
no, but
Hey,
I'm
look at me.
saying
Can't have a
but
gun.
no, but I'm saying that I've been in a rage.
Really?
Sure, I've probably 6 times as an adult I've been in a rage where I've wanted to punch somebody in the face, or I have punched somebody in the face.
That doesn't make you mentally unstable.
Well, but at that moment I might have been. In that moment I might
Yeah,
have been
but a
so
doctor,
mad.
but a doctor can't evaluate your brain or your condition. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Is that now you're getting into it?
but that's not mental illness, though. We're talking about two different things. Because that's being emotional, being upset's not mental illness.
How do you define mental illness? Like, how would you define it?
I'd have to read how they're defining it.
Because
Because when you have a diagnosed depression, it's very easy to diagnose.
What if you could take drugs and it completely cures you in a lot of cases?
They can't.
You
What they
have
have,
it done now?
they have drugs now that it just levels you out, so you feel no emotion at all.
Okay, but like there are drugs that get people functioning perfectly.
Function doesn't make
Sure.
you happy. It just makes you like you don't feel.
Can they have a
anything.
gun?
No, if you have any diagnosis or history of mental illness, there's no gun in your future. Why do you need a gun?
Damn. Well, what if you want to protect your house and you live in a bad neighborhood? What if you like to go hunting?
Someone else in the house should have a
Your
gun.
wife.
Do
can
you
have
think
it.
that if you pass that law, people would just lie about?
Oh, we're never going to stop it. The law doesn't matter.
That's what I'm trying
But
to
so
say.
this one is
The law doesn't matter. There's too many guns
you go.
circulating.
There you go.
Doesn't
These are
matter.
people that are benefiting off of that Social Security disability payments. So they're pretty much saying, well, if you're going to be doing that, let's go ahead and put you on this list. And
That's
the list they put down is psychotic disorder and schizophrenia. Whenever I see psychotic disorder and schizophrenia, I'm down with them.
I would
taking
agree
the
with
guns
you.
away.
Schizophrenia? You can't have a gun.
I would agree that
Now you can say,
schizophrenia and
but-
psychotic disorder, psychotic episodes.
Yeah,
to me,
but-
I don't want you having a gun.
But what happens if I had a psychotic episode or I'm schizo and then, all right, that was years ago, man. I take my pills. Can I buy an automatic weapon?
It gets tough again.
It's not that tough. No.
No, real-
Absolutely
the
not.
law-wise,
What happens
the
if you
law.
forget your medication one day and you fucking freak out again?
I mean, the law. The law.
The law should be, we just can't. We simply can't.
Okay,
I'm
let me
down-
ask you
I'm
this.
down with
Let
that
me
too.
let me extrapolate.
If I can give you a shot where you're cured for life, yes.
Can you drive a car? Because what if you drive your car into a big parade?
There it gets
you,
tough again.
You know what I'm saying? Like now, what do we do about his driver's license? Because your 2 tons of fast-moving steel can do a lot of damage. Certainly, should you have a trucking license? What if your only means of income is you drive a truck, but you suffered from depression your whole life and maybe some psychotic episodes, or maybe when you were 20, you had a schizophrenic episode. One. Fuck.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? This is how it gets
Is
murky.
this ever voted on? Things like this?
Well, but these are the debates that you have, and what happens is that you bring in a bunch of psychiatrists,
tough to do
and
one
one
paintbrush.
psychiatrist says one thing, and the other one says another.
Yeah.
And this is why I love these discussions, because we all sit around going, if we had to make policy, we'd all be going like,
I'll tell you
well,
what's
hold on,
tough.
What do we do? Where do we draw
Ain't
the
no
line?
one's solving anything in this room. No. Not really. You know what I'm saying?
But the Constitution does have a bit of an answer, right? And you know what the Constitution does? We all know the Constitution is a little bit genius.
Everyone has
because
the
they
right
go,
to bear arms?
Sure.
That's complete bullshit. And those rules were made up so long ago.
But they did
the
have these
world
debates.
changes.
But they
Has
had these
anyone ever
debates.
thought about changing the Constitution? Maybe a little bit.
Ooh, we've amended it. Bill of Rights is our first 10 amendments.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But
It's 2017.
We do change it.
Bunch
We
of
amend
old
it.
white dudes made these rules.
No, we do amend it, but it's a beautiful document because in many ways they did have these debates. They did have these conversations because they said it goes way less to the technology of guns. It goes back to
Human nature.
human nature.
Yeah.
It was a great document that took into account human nature and, more importantly, the nature of power and how other people will always try to have power over other people. And I love the founding fathers for that. So I'm always a constitutionalist. I find myself going back to the Constitution, which is why in a lot of ways I'm a natural, real conservative. Not Republican because I'm just not with their social restrictions. They tend to not jibe with me, but I'm definitely more of a live and let live freedom. But then again, like it's like this. So liberals are pro-life when it comes to guns, but they're also like believe in abortion, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a contradiction, isn't it? And then the other side is like, well, life starts in the womb, but we believe in the death penalty.
It's complicated, man.
And we believe in
The answer is there's
letting
not
people-
one way to solve all this. And no one's right. Both sides have good points.
I would say the founding fathers are a good barometer. Let's go back to the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and let's just they solved the problem as far as I can tell. Whenever you start fucking around, we get into these debates, right?
What else you got, Chin?
You want to do one more, or you want to do a lot more?
I like this.
If you bring up another...
It's fun
Trump
though.
one.
Do you not like this?
This is an MMA one.
I like it.
Another
I like
MMA
these
one?
discussions.
Just one
man.
because it happened like literally yesterday, or I found out yesterday. Remember Chris Cyborg went for the TUE, the retroactive TUE?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she got it.
She got it.
Yeah.
I remember
We went over
thinking
this,
that- is that
brother.
even did we?
Yeah.
That she got it?
Yeah.
No, we didn't
I thought
know.
we went over- I thought she
we-
just asked for
yeah,
it.
we
Yeah.
didn't know she actually got it.
She literally got it. She's completely clear of everything now. She has nothing. She's
Wow.
free.
And now she's waiting for all comers.
Well, she'd fight that Dramamine lady,
That would have to be it.
but her hands all jacked up. But I think the UFC signed the girl from the 145er Australia.
likes?
Yeah.
Damn, she's only
Megan
31.
Anderson?
I didn't know Cyborg was that young.
I didn't know that either.
31.
I thought
She
she
just
was
got
well
out of her
into
20s. Wow. Holy shit,
been
she's
doing
been
it for
fighting
a
a
while.
long time. How long? At top of the food chain.
I mean,
know. I could
was she
look it up.
31? She's been fighting at least 11 years.
Damn. Cristiano Justino.
Justino.
You met her, Brennan?
Yeah. Nice person.
Yeah.
Kickboxing since 2006, or Muay Thai.
It's 10
And
years.
MMA 2005.
Yeah. And training before that, I'm sure, to get there. So, long time.
Good luck beating her.
Look at that record. Win, 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 win.
Monster.
Good God.
Yeah, that 145 division's in a little bit of trouble. I don't know who she's going to fight. There's not a lot of depth.
No. Are there any really good boxers at 145? Like pro boxers that could...
Doesn't matter. It's mixed martial arts. What else you got, Chin?
I'm just going through right
Francis
now.
Bean
Did you see this
Cobain.
one? The dummy. They've done this before, right? Use a dummy for a carpool lane.
Oh, yeah. I've done that before.
Yeah. Anyways, there's one that looked like a Barbie doll with blonde hair.
Yeah, people have done that bullshit before. It never, I mean,
The other one I have is just
I get a piece so
MMA.
hard.
It's just Valerie Letourneau retiring.
Who?
I don't know if you're a fan of hers or
All
not.
right, we got to stretch now. I'm
Valerie-
going to take a piss.
Go for it.
Hey, sir. Excuse me, sir.
I gotta piss.
What else you got?
She
got
trains with
pissed.
Hector Lombard.
I don't give a fuck. Wait, Pete.
Got a little drop in knowledge here, Brennan. Do you know that rich people literally see the world differently?
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you're kind of rich. You see the world differently? Do you know that they might see the world in a way that's not as flattering? So if you come from a lower socioeconomic, they've done brain imaging studies.
Doesn't it matter on like if you're self-made rich? I think you'd view it different if you were
Oh, is that
one
what
of
you
Donald
think?
Trump's kids.
Well, apparently,
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good that might be
Like if I start
actually-
from the bottom, now I'm here. I know the struggle.
I would agree with you. That
big difference.
That's something that they didn't bring up in this paper.
Then some rich kid like Donald Trump's kids
Yeah.
gonna view the world a little
It's
different.
very true because the people I know that came up with
They view it different.
Yeah, because they know what it was like.
They've
right?
been there.
Yeah.
But if you've never been there, you're gonna view the world completely different.
Well, apparently this neuroscientist Michael Varnum, a neuroscientist, by the way, is really an umbrella term. When you're a neuroscientist, it's not the same as saying you're a neurophysician. Physician. A neuroscientist is somebody who does experiments on how the brain works, and so you're considered a neuroscientist. Okay. But in his Arizona State University in 2015 paper on empathy, he and his colleagues recruited 58 participants for a brain imaging study and basically found that people from a higher socioeconomic status had, when they saw people's faces that were in pain, in their mind, they said, oh, I feel very bad for them. And they considered themselves to feel like really bad for them. But the brain imaging suggested something far different compared to people who didn't come
That
from
they
any
didn't
money.
give a shit?
The people that came from less money were tended to feel their empathy areas ignited more, apparently. And also, when they put Google glasses on wealthy people versus poor people, the wealthy people had way shorter attention spans.
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah,
had
yeah,
shorter
yeah.
gazing. They were like, fuck, I've seen that.
They've
I've
seen
that.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so one of the things they think is the reason is that when you have not a lot of money, you have to rely on other people, and you live closer to other people, and you're probably sharing a room, you're sharing bathrooms, you're sharing things, so you become more in tune with how people are feeling because you have to read people's moods, you have to read their kind of attitudes. So
You also have to
I
care
talked
because
about
you need
this.
stuff.
Yeah, I
with
talked
it.
about this a long time ago. Dr. Keltner did this thing on how people in luxury cars will tend to not stop for
Yeah.
pedestrians.
They're meaner.
Yeah, and they tend to run more stop signs because
Depends on the person. I don't think that's fair to say, but yeah.
now that I have my Tesla, I'll
You
bump
run through
people.
'em?
I'll bump motherfuckers out of the way. I'm like, get out of the
people-
way.
rich people
Get out of the way, you fucking poor, you pauper.
You have some fan questions, Chin?
I do. Whoa.
Whoa,
Heyo.
Jen, easy.
Sorry.
Ease up.
Keaton Wright, 1985. What are your thoughts on Rogan and Crowder podcast argument? Hashtag Golden Hagoso.
I thought it was fascinating because I think what Crowder, for me, I don't have an emotional attachment to marijuana. I don't really smoke a lot of it. And what Crowder had said was essentially that marijuana has an effect on you. And in some instances, that effect can be positive. In some instances, that effect can be negative. At the end of the day, what he actually started by saying is, I wish I didn't really talk about marijuana. And he said, in some states where marijuana was legal, the fatality rate has skyrocketed. And then there was a AAA came out with this thing. But then there's a lot of opposing information. And what I thought was fascinating, knowing Joe very well, was that Joe got triggered. He got emotionally triggered by the idea that his beloved marijuana was under attack. And marijuana is very important to Joe. And I've noticed that a lot of people who are, it's really interesting, but when marijuana.
Flat Earth is a trigger for you.
It sure is. It sure as fuck is.
Good God.
It sure as fuck is. But marijuana gives Joe a certain feeling, and it makes him, and he loves that feeling. And by the way, religion gives some people a feeling like that. And when you are attacking whatever gives somebody that feeling, they
get pretty
They get
defensive.
very defensive. And what
I'm trying to think what we get triggered by.
I
There's
can
not a
think of
whole lot that
I can think of a couple things, but not a lot. I can think of some things, but what we all have them, and what we all do is we are very guarded around the things that my trigger
care about.
is if you start talking about changing the Constitution of this country. I will flip the fuck out because I'll start to fight you. And because I am very entrenched in the idea that we benefit from that shit every
You
day.
don't celebrate President's Day.
No, I do not. I do not celebrate George Washington's birthday. But with Rogan, it was very interesting to me because Joe is a very fair guy. And Joe, if you noticed, what I liked about it was that he apologized very profusely and very
Afterwards?
honestly. Yes. On his Instagram post, he said, I was wrong. I'm flawed. Because in my opinion, I do think he was behaving like a bully. I do think he was behaving in a very condescending manner toward his guests. And I thought Steven Crowder handled himself very well and is a very thoughtful, fair-minded, intelligent guy.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of that debate, which I watched, you know, they kind of came to an agreement, which was Crowder said, with a brain that's developing up until, say, 25, if you smoke weed,
It's trouble.
it may not be good for you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of evidence that
Rogan
suggests
admitted that, though.
Yeah.
Rogan went, I agree with
and
that.
they kind of came to a finally, you know.
I didn't see the end.
Well, it was great because Joe kind of came to the kind of realization and kind of stopped, detached himself from his emotions around marijuana, heard Crowder for the first time in 37 minutes. And it was very interesting because Joe kept, and Jamie has a thing. The first time I ever heard Jamie he got defensive. And Jamie's a very even-keeled, fair-minded guy, but they kept bringing up evidence and articles. And one of the things I thought was very interesting was that they brought up an article that said 100 scientific studies prove marijuana cures cancer. Okay. That is a classic example of bias confirmation or confirmation bias.
true.
Because when you say scientific and study are huge umbrella terms, and so is cures, and so is cancer. Cancer takes on many different forms. So again, you can look on the internet and you can find things that support your argument and you can find things that don't support your argument. Now, I happen to believe marijuana should be legal. I think Steven Crowder about 10 times said, if you want to smoke pot, smoke it. And by the way, I wish I hadn't talked about it.
He was
But
like,
Joe kept
he goes, I didn't want to talk about it.
Joe kept hammering him because Joe felt like his beloved marijuana was under attack. He admitted this later on, which is a credit to Joe, which is what I love about Joe. That dude holds himself accountable to his own flaws, and we should all do that. But it was just a fascinating study on how we all, no matter how fair-minded and how good a guy we are, like Joe is, we all suffer from this. We all have triggers. We all get triggered. And it's a good exercise. You just asked. It's a very good exercise to ask yourself, what does trigger us? What the fuck triggers us? I know it triggers me when people start talking about liberty, when people start criticizing, wholesale, blanket condemnations on, fucking the press. I have a problem with it. So that's me, because I when people start talking about how socialism and Bernie Sanders would have been good for this country, big trigger for me. Big trigger for me, man. Yeah. So what do you think yours are?
I don't know. It's case by case.
One of your triggers is when people who don't know any better start talking about what a fighter goes through.
No, I can't stand when people are commenting on like a fighter's technique or something when they don't have a background or something like that.
There you go. But why?
It's not a trigger. It's not a trigger.
That's because they haven't earned it,
it's
right?
not. Well, no, it's because they don't know what they're talking about. It's not a trigger. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, God damn it. Right. I don't get mad. I get mad if they keep trying to engage with me about it. Yeah, that's why I get mad. But I don't put myself in the situations. That's not a trigger, though. I wouldn't defend it.
You're sensitive. Like
I wouldn't defend it.
You'll get triggered by. I don't know. You're sensitive. You're just sensitive. Your feelings get hurt easily.
Yeah, but that's not. My feelings get hurt, but it's not a trigger. Bad thing. It wouldn't be a trigger where I lash out or make sure I'm in the right.
Yeah.
Like I would never do that to a guest. Like we've had so many guests on where I completely disagree with. Never mean to them or bully them. Never.
Yeah, and Joe. I
don't have a ton of triggers where I'd be like, make sure I'm like you and I have a debates, but never.
Yeah. No, and I think that you and I have always been, and it's
like I just like to argue. Like the Kyrie Irving thing was a trigger for you. Like, of course, the flat Earth stuff is stupid.
Sure,
but my point there is, I don't think it's fair to say because he's not a researcher or a professor or something, we can't take what someone says, to credit. I'm not saying I'm taking that to credit, but if we just relied on research,
we didn't like that I was calling him an idiot or a dummy.
Yeah, but it's even more so like than that, because if we just focus on experts and scientists, then why even listen to you and me on certain shit? That was my point there.
Well, see, experts and science is also an interesting term, because the first thing
They
that you
also have
to always,
agendas, too.
But the first thing always is scientists are always told, don't trust your own brain. Don't even trust your own experiments until somebody else corroborates them, right? So that's always typically what happens. You have to have other people who can replicate your findings. If you don't, then, and we have this all the time where people get found out. That South Korean guy who said he had all this data proving that he was going to get people to walk again because he could mend a spinal cord. Yeah, well, guess what?
And I don't see. I also don't think it's fair, because we talked about how you saw neither side, left or right, where we want to talk. When they just go, "You're a dummy. You're a dummy."
Right.
So when you go, Kyrie, yeah, he's a dummy. Fuck that guy. All right, but maybe for whatever weird reason, he was pointed in the wrong direction. He has this professor who told him the Earth is flat. So he's like, "Fuck, man. From what I know, what I've been taught,
right,
the Earth is flat." So I want to hear him out.
You're talking about
I don't think
civility.
he's a dummy. I know what I believe. That I think 99.9% of the world believe the Earth is round. But I'm not going to just write him off.
Well, you're talking about what George Washington talked about, which was civility. And you should have, I violated the principle of civility.
Like, that doesn't upset me. He could have said the Earth is a square. It doesn't upset. There's no triggers there.
Yeah. I'm worried that with all the information out there, it's really easy people just don't seem to be responsive to facts in general. And I worry about that.
I think you're around people, though, because you're around Eddie, then you just listen to that other podcast. Yeah. I don't think it's that big of a problem.
Fresh.
Because the people that are making decisions aren't swayed by the internet.
Oh, God, I wish I could believe that. But Steve Bannon and Donald Trump tend to... that we have a president that's not...
We've been over it, brother. I'm going to fucking... Give me a gun, and I don't have mental depression.
I'm just responding to that.
I hear you. What else you got, Chin? Give me two more, man.
Two more.
Could it get any hotter in the studio, though?
It's hot. We're heated up on a Monday.
This one is just right below that one. So K-Tano is asking, when you come up with new material, do you guys check online to see if it's been done already?
New material? What do you mean new material?
Jokes?
Comedy material.
Not one time in my life.
Never. Because what are you gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna do a bit on my dad. Let me research if anyone had their dad do this. No.
By the way,
because all my material is personal stuff.
Yes.
So if it's
that's
super
how you avoid
personal,
that's how you avoid.
Yeah, I make sure it's my shit.
I don't watch a lot of comics because
I stopped.
Will do that. I did that with Justin McKinney, who had a joke about a bee being in a car. And I was doing this joke and I put it on my last special, but I talked to Justin. I said, "What is your thing?" And he went through his, and I was like, "Okay, well, this is mine. It's different." But I had to talk to him because I wanted to make sure, because I had been influenced by that, and then I had an experience, and But
yeah, my stand was more about experiences. It's storytelling, and there's funny and that stuff with my parents and brother and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and fighting. So it's gonna be tough, unless there's another fighter doing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Never once.
No, you never, man. You got that's
too easy these days. People just record like I heard fucking.
But people get caught all the time, and do what if you're a writing stand up or anything, man. That's where you got to just don't copy anybody. You'll see great ideas and you'll be like, "Oh, I love that joke. I want it so badly." No, can't do it. Just stay personal. Stay personal. Stay personal. You'll find it.
Chin.
Yeah. Tommy Law 1 just saw Uncle Joey's appearance on Hot Ones. When are the Fighter and the Kid crew going to appear on the show? If you guys do plan on appearing, who will be able to make it to the final?
Me, I will.
How many wings is it? 5?
I think 10.
God damn,
Yeah.
I love chicken wings.
No,
But
I'll be
for that
fine.
hot,
He's already afraid.
I don't know.
No,
you don't even eat chicken wings.
No,
though.
you'll break.
I don't know, man. We're supposed to do it yesterday for the All-Star game. Brian and I were supposed to fly out there. I couldn't because my son's birthday. He couldn't because he's coming from Nashville, so we rescheduled it.
Yeah.
I know.
I really want to see you guys on that show too.
Oh, we're gonna do it. What do you think, man? Are you nervous about it? Do you think you're gonna be able to
I just want to do the show. I think it'd be funny.
You can handle hot shit, right?
Yeah, my girl's fucking Mexican. All we do is eat hot shit.
Yeah.
But I don't know how hot the hot is. You know what I'm saying?
It's so
If it's
hot.
like Thai, you ever had Thai hot? There's Mexican hot, then there's
yes,
Thai hot.
Yes, I have.
That's a different animal.
That's a very interesting distinction, by the way. You just said it.
Mexican hot and
No, Thai hot.
Thai hot's a different animal.
Holy fuck.
Thai hot's a different animal. Like you can't even. Like my brother was in Thailand and had Thai hot, and he said like for the rest of his trip everything tasted sour and his lips were numb.
Dude,
like I don't want that. I can't. Like are the wings that hot? Like I don't need to fuck up my week.
I've seen people look like they're destroyed They completely go out of character, but it's
goddamn.
so funny when
It's
you
gonna be
watch them,
funny
so.
for me and Brian to do
The
that.
only
Yeah, you guys are
time,
gonna be
the
awesome,
only
though.
time I've ever had something that hot was a Thai pepper. Fuck, I just forgot it.
Thai hot's different animal. The Thai they fucks with
So
it.
they put
See, I
sauce
don't like
on it,
that.
right?
Yeah,
they
it's
put
all
hot
sauces.
sauce, like habanero hot sauce. I'm sure they have like a ghost pepper sauce.
They
You just
do.
got to down it real quick.
They do that, but it catches
doesn't
up.
work?
Sometimes
Oh.
they're like, it's not that bad, and then
Whoa.
they just
Can we have
start
water?
hitting.
I don't think there's water.
Yeah, there's water and milk. You guys are good as far as the
I
water
need
and milk.
ice. I like ice to sit in my mouth.
Yeah,
It's an acid, you know.
But
That's an you know why that's hot? It's an
Yeah, yeah.
acid.
it's burning you, right? It's
It's gonna
literally
fuck your
burning
stomach
you.
up.
It's an
for
actual
sure.
acid.
What else you got, Chin?
You want another one?
One more.
All right. Where the
Last
hell?
one.
Stranger 37. Where the hell? Well, you guys pretty much answered it. Where the hell were you two for the fight companion?
I was at Disneyland. Brian was flying home from Nashville.
Yeah.
Right?
Flying hard too.
Flying super hard.
Hard and true.
I was balls deep in Disneyland.
You want
Couldn't
another
make
one
the
then?
companion. That's it.
All right.
B, where are you in?
2 weeks.
Well, you guys listen to this. The Fire and Kid are live in Philadelphia, April 7th at the Trucadero Theater. And
then
April
the
8th,
9:30.
Washington, D.C. at the 9:30 Club.
Yep.
Those tickets just went on sale. It's one show, one night in each city only, just one show, April 8th and 9th. So Philly is on the 8th and D.C. is on the 9th. I think that's right.
That's right.
It's a Friday and Saturday or Thursday and Friday. Either way, tfatk.com right now. Those bitches are on sale and they're selling like hotcakes.
We're gonna
Never
have
been to
some fun.
DC.
And come check me out in Boston, Laugh Boston, March 2, 3, and 4. I'll be at Laugh Boston, and that's in March.
7th
March
and
2,
8th,
3,
right?
4.
Yes,
So not
April
8th and 9th.
7th we're in Philly. April 8th we're in DC.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Boom, boom,
7th
boom,
and-
boom. tfatk.com. And then we got the Hagoso shirts and Skepto Hippo shirts drop in next week
Yes.
as well.
Hagoso.
Finally, Hagoso's coming live.
I'm excited.
Anything else, B? You anywhere else?
That's it, buddy. We're going to just focus on 2 weeks out. I'm going to start doing a social media push, Brennan.
Oh, fantastic.
You know what I'm saying, buddy?
This is the Fire Kid. We're out.